provided the player did not damage it through abuse. A new exception provides that a ball at rest must be replaced if it moves to another area of the course or comes to rest out of bounds after being dropped, placed, or replaced. And finally, back-on-the-line relief procedure, often used for penalty area and unplayable ball relief, has been simplified so that the player now drops their ball on the line and the ball must come to rest within club length of where it was dropped. All in all, just common sense. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
KHTK AM and HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios,
it's Sactown Sports 1140. Sactown Sports
headlines.
Ledbetter, and these are your Sactown Sports 1140 headlines. Last night at Golden One Center, the Sacramento Kings defeated the Brooklyn Nets 153-121. The 153 points scored is the second most points in a single game for the Kings since the franchise moved to Sacramento in 1985. 7 different Kings players scored at least 12 points or more, including a team-high 31 points off the bench from Terrence Davis. Following the 32-point loss to Sacramento, Kevin Durant said in an interview with Bleacher Report's Chris Haynes, quote, "It wasn't difficult at all to request a trade," in reference to his demand to be traded over the summer from the Brooklyn Nets. Durant went on to criticize the accountability and preparation under former head coach Steve Nash, while also acknowledging he is in a good place with the team under new head coach Jacques Vaughn. Those are your Sactown Sports 1140 headlines. Now, let us begin with the Cattles and Romney Show.
It's the new spot for local sports talk in the afternoon.
Cattles and Romney. Cattles and Romney.
I describe him as the best, obviously.
It's Cattles.
He throws it out there. Speaks his mind. That's cool.
It's Ramie.
He's supposed to make people laugh. He's just an expert at it.
Cattles and Ramie. Sactown Sports 1140.
Mike Brown warmly embraces Jacques Vaughn after Mike Brown's Sacramento Kings put a 153-121 hurt on the Brooklyn Nets. Sacramento is now over 500 after losing the first 4 games to start the season. They are 7-6. They've won 4 in a row. They've won 7 of their last 9. They're on the plus side on the home floor for the first time with a 4-3 record. So a lot of good things happening, obviously, for the Sacramento Kings.
The sweet, sweet tones of the G-Man right here on Sactown Sports 1140 after a sweet, sweet victory for the Sacramento Kings last night, 153-121. It is Cattles and Ramie. It's no Cattles, just Ramie this afternoon. And I knew Christopher Laud was out. He's taking a little time to go crab fishing. Not something I've ever done or ever wanted to do. And then learned this morning JJ a little under the weather. So it's literally just Ramie. Well, not literally. Kyle Ledbetter is on the other side of the glass. Thank God I don't want to run my own board. I've done that before. I've been a one-man show in a studio before, and it is not fun. So I'm glad you're here, Kyle. You're talking. I don't hear you. I don't know what's going on there because, again, I don't run the board.
Yeah, that was because I ran those headlines earlier, and we had to take it out. But, I mean, I can't believe you ran a board and ran a show.
Answered. I did it all. Like, literally a one-man show, like an octopus with 8 arms. Like, I was doing it, answering the phone, everything. I've done, like, literally done an entire radio show all by myself, and it is not fun. I can tell you right now, it is not fun to do at all. You know what was fun, though? A 153-121 win over the Brooklyn Nets yesterday. Carmichael Dave is going to be here at 3:45 to talk some Kings and also have some draft mockery fun. It's a food draft we're having today. I'll give you more details at 3:45. And Dave loves food as much as I do. And Dave is also the biggest Kings fan I know. So I wanted to get Dave in on the Kings talk and in on the show today. And speaking of getting in on the show, I want to hear from Kings fans today. And I know if you're a regular listener of Cattles and Ramie, we don't take a ton of calls. We will. I'm opening up the phone lines. We're opening the floodgates today. Give us a call. You can get in at 800-920-1140. You can text the show at 916-339-1140. And I would be, I don't make all the decisions on Cattles and Ramie. I have my say. Everybody has their say. I would be pushing for this today, even if Cattles was here, even if JJ was here, even if Verlad was here, because this is the day after that victory is a day I want to hear from Kings fans. This isn't just because I'm lazy and I don't want to talk to myself for the next 3 hours. Both of those things could very well be true, but that's not why I'm doing this. I want to talk to Kings fans today and celebrate just an awesome night at the Golden One Center last night.
BSing the people in this country.
I'm telling you, I'm not BSing the people of this country or of Sacramento. I want to hear from you the day after that victory at 800-920-1140 or text the show 916-339-1140. And you can always watch and comment on the YouTube page, youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140. And while you're there, give us the like, give us the subscribe as well. You're on TNT for the first time in 4 years. You got Brian Anderson and Stan Van Gundy there, our guy Jared Greenberg, who joined us yesterday. The lights are bright on Sacramento last night. And what did the Kings do? Did they shrink under the lights? Hell no. They shined under those lights. They put an absolute beat down.
Let's go, Sacramento.
On the Brooklyn Nets. And to hear Kevin Durant say it, we'll talk about that later. Nets aren't very good. that's coming from Kevin Durant.
Direct quote according to Bleacher Report.
But I don't care, man. I don't care. You could have easily been same old Kings yesterday, and you were not. That was awesome to watch. The beatdown from almost start to finish. Not quite start to finish. It was still pretty close after the first quarter, but then the Terrence Davis show started. And as part of that, you end the first half on a 33-14 run. Then they go on to throw up 42 points in one quarter. They almost scored 80 points in a half, then threw up 42 points in one quarter. In the third quarter, shooting 69% from the field and 8 of 12 from three. At one point, they led by 39 points. Just an amazing night last night at the Golden One Center. Shot 60% from the field, made 20 of 41 from three-point land, 39 assists, which matched their highest total since 2004. You out-rebounded them, 42-29. The point total was the second highest in the Sacramento era, trailing only a 154-point performance back in 1993. I almost said 73 to the 76 against the 76ers. And man, I knew this before I even got to Sacramento, but this town is just ready to pop. Kings fans are hype, man, and there is a vibe and an electricity in this city with not just the wins. I mean, none of it would be happening without the wins and this team being over 500 for the first time. Well, not for the first time in a long time, but being over 500 to start the season and having the type of start that they've had so far. And on top of that, and again, Carmichael Dave will be here at 3:45. Dave tweeted this out earlier. I don't need to tell anybody listening to me how to follow Carmichael Dave, right? Like, he's the franchise on the station.
I think we're safe there.
If you're not at Carmichael Dave, he tweeted out, this is the most optimistic. This is why Dave is the biggest Kings fan I know. The Kings are 2.5 games out of the 1 seed. Their next two opponents are a combined 9-21. They will actually be favored to win 6 in a row and 9 of 11. Then he follows that up with got to take care of business, though, one at a time. Man, if they win 9 of the next 11, this town is going to be losing its mind. And you can tell that these players feel it. This was, let's hear from Terrence Davis first after the game, after that ridiculous performance. What did he finish with? How many? He finished with
31
points, 9 rebounds, and 4 assists. That's not Terrence Davis's line. That's Domas Sabonis' line. What are we doing here? Terrence Davis. And you know what? Those are the types of things that you need. And don't take this the wrong. I'm talking to you two. I'm looking right into the camera. Don't take this the wrong way. Okay, but if this is going to be some kind of special season, okay? I'm just throwing that out there. If this is going to be some kind of special season, nights like Terrence Davis had last night are the type of things that happen along the way, where you go to a guy not because necessarily you want to, but because you have to, because of the Keegan Murray injury. I mean, not to say Terrence Davis wouldn't be in the rotation, but not the minutes that he got last night. I think he played 26 minutes. And hopefully Keegan Murray is all right. But when you have to, when your hand is forced to play a guy the way that they played Terrence Davis last night, and he comes up with that type of night, those are the types of things that happen along the way in special seasons. And here was TD after the game.
My senior year in college, man, my coach Carmichael Dave, he was like on me. You know, and it's still, and I didn't know how it was gonna affect me on the court, but after I seen it, you know, it's just, I love it. I tell Coach, man, tough love is the best love. So he embraced that too, and he lets me know like how hard he's on me. So I enjoy it, man, because anytime a coach is like that on you, he just wants to see the best. You want the best out of you. Wants you to perform well.
That was Terrence Davis talking about Mike Brown. Don't worry about it. I wanted the cut where he was talking. He said this is for Sacramento. I don't remember. I don't know if we got that or not.
That was during the post game interview on the court.
Okay,
so we did not get audio of that afterwards. Okay. But he did have a big yell where he goes, "Light the beam!"
That was
right
awesome.
after.
That was, and I love the beam, man. I don't know, like stuff like that can be corny. The beam is pretty damn cool. I can see that. I tweeted out a picture yesterday. You can follow me at Ramie is tweeting, Ramie is tweeting. For however much longer we have Twitter, go ahead and follow me over there. A perfect view of the beam from my balcony. I'm no photographer, but that was a nice shot from
it was good. It was good. People should go check that out.
Do we have the De'Aaron Fox cut where he was talking about how cool it was in the Golden One Center and here in the city of Sacramento last night?
Oh, I mean, it's electric. Like I said before, man, whenever you're winning in the city, I think it's a very different feeling. So, for us, we want to continue to put on a show, continue to win, not only for ourselves, but, for this fan base.
There's De'Aaron Fox. And, man, this fan base. I went out last night after the game, and, Kyle, you actually have specific insight to what I'm about to say. I don't usually walk my dog late at night. Kyle watches my dog for me sometimes when I'm out of town. You know my dog's walking schedule. I don't usually we don't go out late at night, me and Osgood. I just wanted to feel, like I said, I don't live too far from the arena. You're down on
15-minute
walk. Don't tell people where I live.
I'm not gonna spoil it. I'm just saying it's reasonable.
It's like a 15-20 minute walk. So I knew Kings fans were going to be trickling, through the neighborhood, walking home or whatever the case might be. And I love that vibe, man. I love that feel in a city, like in the city when things are going good for the city's favorite team or one of their sports teams. And you could feel it, man. I walked past a whole bunch of Kings fans walking past in their gear, and there's just buzz. And I love that, man. And I think, and we're going to talk about this in a second, and I want to hear from Kings fans. Like I said, all afternoon long, give us a call, 800-920-1140. You can text the show, 916-339-1140. The party might not be about to stop. The party might be a bigger party than we even thought we'd be planning before this season started. We'll talk about that right after this. Cattles and Romney.
Hey, Kings fans, you got questions? We got answers. Send all your Kings questions to kingsmailbag@sactownsports.com and have them answered by the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross and Cattles and Romney during our Kings Mailbag segment every Friday on Sactown Sports' YouTube channel.
Subscribe today by searching Sactown Sports on YouTube.
The only place to get wall-to-wall Kings coverage in the 916, Sactown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
Stay in front of him. Feet. No fouls. Okay, take a break.
Hi, Doug Christie here for the Good Feet store asking, how much do you rely on your feet? A little? A lot? Probably more than that. If you're like most people, you know that when your feet are hurting, your life kind of stinks. There are lots of treatment options that promise relief but will disappoint. The Good Feet store makes over 300 styles, sizes, and flexibilities of arch supports. Why so many? Because to get serious pain relief, you need a precise fit that's matched to your foot, gait, and lifestyle. To make sure you get the pain-relieving pair that's just right for you, Good Feet has an arch support specialist at every Good Feet location to give customers a free personalized arch support fitting and test walk. Experience for yourself the unmatched comfort, balance, and support of Good Feet arch support. The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, and Modesto. Online at goodfeet.com.
It's the new spot for local sports talk in the afternoon. Cattles and Romney.
Cattles and Romney.
Sactown Sports 1140.
That's the show. No Cattles, just Ramie this afternoon. Carmichael Dave at 3:45. He's going to talk some Kings with me. Biggest Kings fan I know, and we're going to have some draft mockery fun. It's food related. You probably know what direction we're going in, but tune in at 3:45. I wanted to hear about Dave's love for the Kings and his love for food, because we definitely share that love of food. And man, Kings fans are just a fun bunch to talk to right now. That's why I want to talk to you at 800-920-1140 is how you can get in on the phones. Text the show 916-339-1140. And you can always comment on the YouTube page, youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140. While you're there, give us the likes, give us the subscribes, rate, review, do all the things, give us all the numbers to beat all the algorithms so we can do this thing more and make you a more entertained and more informed fan base in the greater Sacramento area. Cole G comments there. He says, Kings have arrived. They've arrived, he says. Tony Dogg says Sac fans should be feeling good about their team right now. And Philip Cole says, yes, sir. Great feeling. It is, but McCoy comments, we're going streaking through the quad and into the gymnasium. Nobody was streaking through Doco last night, were they? Don't do that. There are children out there. You know what I mean?
As far as I could see, for those who are wondering what Ramie's alluding to, I was in fact.
Yeah, you were at the Golden One Center last night.
Yes, I was. Boots on the ground for 153 points. First Kings game I've been to since moving out here.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome, man. That's really cool.
It was really, really cool. And
you said the first game you've been to since pre-pandemic, right?
So the only other Kings game I've been to was when I drove way out from college and came out here to watch the Kings. And it was the last home game before the pandemic against the Detroit Pistons. That was the last game I went to. It was now famous for the MVP Rashawn Holmes chants that broke out at the stadium. So yeah, that was the last and only Sacramento Kings game I had been to before last night.
That's a good welcome back to the NBA.
Absolutely.
Real good welcome back to the NBA. So no streaking, right?
As okay. I can speak for myself and say there was no streaking at the stadium.
Was the buzz and the electricity in the Golden One Center as good as it felt coming through my TV?
Better than you thought. I mean, every Kevin Huerter three-pointer, every Terrence Davis shot, it was one after the other, and the fans just didn't have a moment to stop because, especially in the second quarter when they really blew the doors open, it was like one after the other, and people didn't have a time to pause. There was the steal by Huerter that led to the three-pointer where he picked Kevin Durant. That was the loudest it got all night. I think that made it 35 points at the time. And, yeah, it was fantastic.
Got some text that came in. By the way, I love the giant red button to light the beam that the player of the game gets to hit to light the – it's so stupid, but it's fun. I don't care. It's fun. I like stupid fun. That's what I'm here for. Weekdays 3 to 6. That's why they hired me. To bring stupid fun to these airwaves. You can get in on the stupid fun at 800-920-1140 or text the show 916-339-1140. Always comment on the YouTube page, youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140. One more here from Mike, and then I'll get into what I want to talk about here in a second. It says, damn, I wish I could call into the show. Woo beams and cowbells, cow and bell emojis. Woo. Yeah, is the cowbell back? I know the cowbell was a big thing.
Yep, the cowbell is back.
It is back.
So they
I
have
didn't hear cowbells last night on my TV.
So the fans don't have cowbells to give away, but at the very beginning of the game, the season ticket holders get to ring the cowbell right before the players come out on the floor. So they got the big, like, 7-foot tall cowbell, but they don't have the little individual
See, I remember
ones.
back in the day, like the whole first 4 rows would all have cowbells, and it was incessant. Like if you were an opponent or the fan of an opponent, it was annoying as hell. But if you were the Kings or a fan of the Kings, it's a pretty cool thing when you can get that going.
Ramie, I will bet you, and I don't want to jinx it for all of these lifelong Sacramento fans here, but if we get a home playoff game this year, I bet you cowbells for everyone. I'm going to bet you that that's going to happen.
This comes from the 916. So are you saying all we had to do was have Ramie move to Sacramento to have this kind of team? I'm a little aggravated that you couldn't see your potential here sooner. Hey, man, they didn't call me sooner. It's not when they called, I came. You know, when they put the beam up in the sky, so to speak, I answered the call. And I'm here to bring the Mackloff Magic to Sacramento and the Kings. And the Magic is strong.
Absolutely.
So far. You look at what Sac State is doing. Sac Republic did things nobody thought they would, right? Like I couldn't fix the A's. That's not, and I don't know if the Mackloff Magic, I don't know what the mileage is on it. You know what I mean?
No amount of magic can save the Oakland A's,
you look at what's going on in the Sacramento sports scene, and boy, oh boy, is the Mackloff Magic paying off. I said it before. Yeah, they drafted Keegan Murray, and they got Malik Monk, and they got Kevin Herter and Mike Brown. Biggest acquisition of the offseason. Right here, sitting in this chair, right here on Sactown Sports, 1140. I did something Cattles hates, by the way, and if he's listening right now, he's very upset with me. I teased something before the last break that I didn't pay off because I want to interact with you today. I want to interact with, so I was reading the text, I was reading the comments, and I want those to keep coming. I want your calls at 800-920-1140. You can text the show, 916-339-1140. One of Cattle's real radio pet peeves, and we've had long conversations about this as co-hosts and how we do this thing, teasing something and not paying it off. And I did that. And I'm sorry if that bothers you as a radio listener, and I'm sorry to Nick if you're listening, and I'm sure that I'll hear about it tomorrow. I will pay off. No, I know I shouldn't do it. It's bad form. It's bad form in this business. All right? It is. But you come first today. On the phones, the text, the comments, you're going to come first today, even if it means that I'm not going to pay off a tease. That's my excuse. That's my excuse when Nick and I have this conversation tomorrow is, hey, man, I was putting the listeners first. So I'm going to pay off that tease right after this, and I'll just repeat the tease. This party might just be getting started, and it might be a bigger, better party than any of us expected.
One guy's trying not to throw furniture.
That's a personal foul.
While the other's still trying to find some.
Cattles and Ramie. Sactown Sports, 1140.
It's true, the best new cars make the best used cars. That's why you'll always find a great selection of Honda certified pre-owned vehicles at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Trade up to a car you'll love. We have a great selection of one-owner, low-mile vehicles you can drive home today. When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find: happy people ready to serve you. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
ATM Mortgage. Hi, this is Jeff Tarbell. Is it time to pack up and leave the Golden State? Whether it's a job change or you just need a change, ATM Mortgage can help with financing for just about any destination you have in mind. You can reach us today at 916-338-9400, 338-9400, or online at atmmortgage.net.
ATM Mortgage.
License under California CFL and MLS 223-4889.
When you're young, life is full of choices. Don't let opioids like highly addictive and deadly fentanyl take away your life or your choices with just one wrong pill. Find medically proven treatment options at choosemat.org.
Open wide. Let me see that smile.
There's a back-to-school braces boom at Doc Kelly's office.
Can you hold on for a sec? Can someone bring me more brackets?
She needs to realign her staffing plan with more registered dental assistants.
Can you reorder the rubber bands in red?
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Have you ever noticed that when the afternoon light hits your floors, you can see everything, including dust?
So much dust.
And that floor dust gets kicked up into the air, compromising the quality of air you and your family breathe.
Eesh.
Swiffer Heavy Duty Sweeper is the fast and easy way to clean your floors, with ultra-thick pads that trap and lock dust before it gets in the air. Just a couple minutes a day.
And dust is gone.
Swiffer Heavy Duty Sweeper. Proud partner of the American Lung Association.
You can't always see bad weather coming, so it's essential that you're able to see through it when you drive. Michelin wiper blades with advanced technology hug your windshield like a Michelin tire hugs the road, channeling away water, snow, and ice so you can see clearly, drive confidently, and breathe easy. Michelin wiper performance, clearer than ever. Upgrade to Michelin premium wipers today at Walmart, Amazon, and other fine retailers.
The number one priority for the good folks over at American Energy is making sure you and your family are comfortable in your home for the holidays. And that's why they're giving away a free whole home HVAC system to one lucky family in the greater Sacramento area. If you know a family in need of being comfortable this winter, enter for your chance to win the American Energy Comfort Giveaway by going to the AE Way. That's the AE Way.com today. You could win a free whole home HVAC system. For the official contest rules, go to the AEWay.com.
Want the best movie experience in town? Join Sactown Sports IMAX Pass by visiting SactownSports.com and sign up today. You can win tickets to see upcoming films at the Esquire IMAX Theater.
Hanley's Kia in Davis is having its biggest sales event of the year. Our November Black Friday sales event is here. Our inventory is growing daily. Don't miss your chance for great deals now on all new Kias. Get $1,000 off MSRP on the all-new redesigned 2023 Kia Niro Hybrid, rated at over 50 miles per gallon. 10 to choose from at this price. Come check out Hanley's Kia's inventory of gas-saving models during our Black Friday sales event. Rio, Soul, Forte, Niro Hybrid, K5, Stinger, EV6 plug-in, Seltos SUV, Sportage Hybrid SUV, Sorrento Hybrid and plug-in SUV, and Telluride SUV. We offer zero down, special APR financing, and we can also help with any credit problems. Don't miss your chance. It's here, the Hanley's Kia Black Friday sales event. Hanley's Kia is located at 4318 Childs Road, just off I-80 at the Mace Boulevard exit in Davis.
$1,000 off MSRP on all new 2023 Niro hybrids. All financing subject to credit approval. All offers expire 11/30/2022.
Sactown Sports
Headlines.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Kyle Ledbetter, and these are your Sactown Sports 1140 headlines. The Sacramento Kings defeated the Brooklyn Nets 153-121 last night. The 153 points is the second most points the Kings have scored in a single game since the franchise moved to Sacramento in 1985. 7 different Kings players scored at least 12 or more points, including a team-high 31 points off the bench from Terrence Davis. Kyle Shanahan provided an update for 49ers defensive end Rick Armstead, saying that he's not sure if Armstead will be playing Monday in Mexico City against the Cardinals. Quote, he's going to continue rehabbing. It says foot and ankle injury, and we'll see on Thursday when we have a chance to practice. Those are your Sactown Sports 1140 headlines. Now, let us return to the Cattles and Romney Show.
Just two guys rubbing elbows and talking sports.
Lots of other stuff.
They always keep you on edge.
That's really crazy interesting. It's Cattles and Romney. Sactown Sports 1140.
One of the things that made me really happy last night, in addition to the victory, and again, I want to hear from Kings fans all afternoon long. You can give us a call, 800-920-1140. Text the show, 916-339-1140. No Cattles, just Ramie this afternoon. And I'm going to pay off the T's in a second, all right? I promise. But I just love the TNT guys, and I love when I have a reason to watch the TNT guys. And we're going to hear from them in a few minutes. But I just saw this come across my Twitter timeline literally as we were coming back on the air from NBA Central, and Shaq believes there's more than one moon, and here's his reasoning. He said, "Was this last night? I don't remember hearing this last night."
I believe this was last night, according to the NBA on TNT YouTube. I didn't watch the show; I was at the game, but I believe this was last night.
He said the other day I was riding and the moon was on the left, and I keep going straight, didn't make no turns, and about 20 minutes later, the moon was behind me. He makes a solid point. Man makes a solid point. You can't lie.
Now remember, Shaquille O'Neal is the same person who famously talked about how Los Angeles is further away than the moon because he can see the moon, but he can't see Los Angeles.
Again,
so
you can't argue with that logic. And the whole thing with him and Chuck about filling the gas tank, that was maybe the high point of comedy and television. I'm not even going to lie. I'm a comedian, and a lot of people have tried much harder than those guys were trying to make funny in that moment, but they might have done it better than anybody ever has. All right, here's where I pay off the tease. I said before the break, could this party be bigger and better than we even thought it might be when this season started? Is it too early to wonder? Am I getting carried away if I just wonder? Because this was brought up in one of our pre-show meetings. I believe it was Monday after the win against the Warriors on Sunday. We kick around questions, topics, whatever. It's just a brainstorming session. And I don't remember who it was. It might have been me. It might have been JJ or Chris or Nick. I don't remember. But somebody threw out there, could this be even better than we thought? And unanimously, the whole room kind of went, pump the brakes. You know what I mean? Like we all just went, maybe we don't ask that question just yet and make ourselves look silly. You know what I mean? Let's not get carried away with what we're seeing here. But man, is it too early to wonder if this could be even better than we thought it might be when the season started? Give us a call, 800-920-1140. Text the show, 916-339-1140. You can always comment, youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140. And the tweets, too. I have the tweets open at Sactown Sports 1140. Because right now, and it's not just, the 7-game win streak, could be a 9-game win streak, being over 500. It's not just a beam. It's not just the Band-Aids. The brand and the quality of basketball is really high level right now. They're the number 6 offense in the NBA scoring-wise. They have the second best offensive rating in the NBA at 116.5. They have the 5th most three-pointers made per game, the 6th highest average point total per game in the NBA, as I just said. And the 5th best, this is one of the more impressive things, the 5th best assist percentage in the league last night. For the season, I should say. 65.3. And last night it was on display. 39 assists, which, as I said to start the show, matching their highest total since 2004. They're doing some things and playing the game at a really, really high level in a lot of respects. Now they're still 26th in defensive rating. That's their overall defensive rating. The transition defense has been very good. I don't know if this is still the case. I saw one of the NBA stat guys tweet out the other day that I think the Kings were the second best transition defense in the NBA. I don't remember who that was, or I'd give them their just dues. But the defense overall, 26th rated in the NBA, but you see the improvement there, and there are certain things defensively that they are doing very, very well, specifically the transition defense. The paint and the size, when they're at a disadvantage, like they were, I was doing the recap show last week against the Cavs, and I will be again tomorrow on our YouTube page. When they're outsized, man, I mean, teams can just muscle them and take advantage of them, and there is not a whole lot that they can do. But short of that, I don't know that there's anything about this team that isn't real or that you shouldn't get yourself excited about necessarily. Now, I do believe that there has to be some regression There has to be some, what did Nick call it yesterday? I like the expression he used, the leveling of the water. I don't know. I'm not going to use his expression and butcher it. There has to be some regression to the mean. I'll just stick with that. I'll stick with the basic. Like when you look at the way De'Aaron Fox is shooting the ball, when you look at the way Kevin Huerter is shooting the three, there are certain things about this basketball team that do have to sort of come back down to earth in some sense. So maybe that's where we do need to pump the brakes and go, okay, realistically, what's the best De'Aaron Fox? Realistically, what's the best Kevin Huerter? And how much of a fall off is there from that, or from where they are now to that, I guess, is what I should be saying. And I don't know that we know the answer to that, because I don't know that those guys have ever been put in the position to succeed the way that they've been put in position to succeed this year. We've seen these kind of numbers from Domas in the past when he was in Indy, and he was pretty much producing these types of numbers last year when he came over in the trade for Halliburton. We've never seen De'Aaron Fox do this, but we've also never seen De'Aaron Fox in this position where they handed him the keys and they said, here you go, young man. It's your organization now, and we're going to build this thing around you, both from a perception standpoint and putting you out there as the guy, and from a basketball standpoint and putting people around you that accentuate what you do well, that makes you better, that you make them better. No, Kevin Huerter was asked to, I've admitted, I don't know how many times already in this young season, I didn't know Kevin Huerter was this good, because when he was in Atlanta, and he'll tell you this, he was asked to just kind of be there for Trae when Trae Young couldn't break the defense, to kick it out and shoot a spot up three. He was never asked to really create his own shot. He's being asked to do things defensively this year that he's never been asked to do. The two-man game between him and Sabonis has been just magnificent when those two guys get that thing going. We don't know what Keegan Murray's ceiling even is, and hopefully he's okay after last night. There almost has to be, like I said, a little bit of regression for this team. And when you look at some of the individual performances that we've seen to this point in the season, but I don't know if it's a huge drop off from what they're doing right now to whatever that regression to the mean is. And I don't know if it is too early to wonder if this is even better than any of us really thought it could be. We were talking play-in, maybe, when the season started. I'm going to say it. They can sniff around the playoffs and screw a play-in. I'm just going to say it. Didn't Shaq say that last night? Didn't he say that this team might get a playoff spot?
He said that he believes they can make the playoffs even without getting to the play-in, and even if they play through the play-in, they'll still get into the playoffs. He's saying 6, 7, 8 seed is where the Kings should be.
I don't know. Is that crazy? Am I crazy? Am I crazy to think that? Here's one from the 916. Yes, welcome to Sacramento, but our seasons have been over before March. Pump the brakes, but still enjoy the ride. You are understanding what it is like to be a Kings fan. 530 says, beyond expectations, certainly after last night, but seems like the success is fragile. I don't think it's that fragile. I really don't think it's that fragile in a lot of ways.
I mean, those stats that you listed back up the fact that this is something that could be sustainable. I'm always the person who yells small sample size anytime something like this happens, but through 13 games, like you mentioned, they're tops in the league in assist numbers, they're tops in scoring. According to Basketball Reference, they currently have the 9th best net rating in the NBA in terms of points scored to points allowed. It has been a very, very strong season, and I don't see the evidence that says it can't continue.
Let me hear from you, Kings fans. Give us a text, 916-339-1140. Call 800-920-1140. The biggest Kings fan you or I know, Carmichael Dave of the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, weekday mornings here on Sactown Sports. He'll join me next to talk about these Kings and jump in on the draft mockery fun. That's next. Cattles and Romney.
Cattles and Romney. Cattles and Romney. Sactown Sports 1140.
I'm with Vince Bloom, the big guy at last year's Elk Grove Dodge. And this year, Vince, we've got football games on Sunday, Monday, Thursday.
Yeah, but they're nothing like the Friday deals at last year's Elk Grove Dodge.
Black Friday deals.
Black Friday deals on new Ram 1500 Bighorns. This month, take $11,000 off MSRP on over 30 new 2022 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab 4x4s. And during the Black Friday sales event, I'll throw in 0% financing for up to 48 months, plus no payments for 90 days. All three.
$11,000 off Bighorns plus financing and no payments for 90 days? All three? Vince, I'd call that a completion.
No, I'd call that a score.
Save $11,000 on over 30 new 2022 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab 4x4s. Plus get 0% financing for 48 months and no payments for 90 days.
Only at last year's Elk Grove Dodge in the Elk Grove Auto Mall and online at elkgrovedodge.com.
Includes $5,000 in California Black Friday retail bonus and bonus cash. On approved credit, must finance through Chrysler Capital. 0% APR for 48 months is $20.83 for $1,000 borrowed. Sample in 39.57.96 ends 11/30/22.
I always approach the holidays with a sense of excitement and a time to be with family. Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with Golf to Go. From the time I was a youngster, the family table was always filled with a gathering of grandparents, uncles, aunts, brothers, and sisters. It was that way at my Noni's home, especially at my mother's home, and today at my own home around my Naturewood dining table. The order of the day is stories, the sweet sound of children laughing. Thanks for all the blessings we each enjoy, and of course, food. Always lots of food. Home is always adorned with special trimmings which remind of past gatherings, good times shared, and relatives that have passed on. Family-owned Naturewood Home Furnishings recognizes the significance of the holidays, and buyers pay special attention to find the distinctive pieces of furniture that you'll love for its individuality today and treasure for memories you'll have tomorrow. Naturewood Home Furnishings, off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
It's time for your furnace tune-up with Clark & Rush. Just $69. We service all brands like Carrier. Turn to the experts for this comprehensive multi-point inspection, maintenance, and safety check. License 608005. We're continuing to take measures to keep you safe. Call today and schedule your $69 tune-up.
Heating and air, plumbing, insulation, gutters, windows, too. Smart energy savings is what we do. Clark & Rush.
Call 916-609-2665.
Life is full of choices. When buying a car, there's only one choice. Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda. Choose from our great selection and get top dollar for your trade. Pre-order today in person, online, over the phone, with no contract and no deposit necessary. Then simply pick it up when it arrives.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Open wide. Let me see that smile.
There's a back-to-school braces boom at Doc Kelly's office.
Can you hold on for a sec? Can someone bring me more brackets?
She needs to realign her staffing plan with more registered dental assistants.
Can you reorder the rubber bands in red?
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Have you ever noticed that when the afternoon light hits your floors, you can see everything, including dust?
So much dust.
And that floor dust gets kicked up into the air, compromising the quality of air you and your family breathe.
Eesh.
Swiffer Heavy Duty Sweeper is the fast and easy way to clean your floors with ultra-thick pads that trap and lock dust before it gets in the air. Just a couple minutes a day.
And dust is gone.
Swiffer Heavy Duty Sweeper. Proud partner of the American Lung Association.
It's hard to find a better selection of 4x4s in stock and ready to drive home today than you'll find at M&S Auto on El Camino right off the Cap City Freeway. New truck prices keep rising. M&S invites you to tour their selection of super clean 4x4s and trucks and save thousands. Tacomas, F-150s, Jeeps, Rams, Silverados. Great deals today on hundreds of 4x4s, SUVs, and muscle cars. First-time buyers are welcome. M&S Auto Sales, El Camino, just off the Cap City Freeway. MSAutogroup.com.
One guy's trying not to throw furniture.
That's a personal foul.
While the other's still trying to find some.
Cattles and Romney. Cattles and Romney. Sactown Sports 1140.
That's the show. No Cattles, just Ramie. No Carmichael Dave either. Supposed to be joining us right now to talk some Kings and participate in the draft mockery. APB out on Carmichael Dave. I'm sure we'll track him down here in just a few minutes, as I've been saying throughout the first hour of the show here with you till 6 o'clock. Want to hear from Kings fans all afternoon after a huge just beatdown, drubbing of the Brooklyn Nets last night, 153-121. You can get in on the phones, 800-920-1140. You can also text the show, 916-339-1140. And you can always comment on the YouTube page over at youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140. If Dave was here, and when he is here, he'll be joining me on the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. All guests come on the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. And there is Carmichael Dave of the Carmichael Dave Show, weekday mornings here on The Fan with Jason Ross. Dave, how are you this afternoon, my man?
Are you sitting in the big tall chair or the little bitty Nick chair?
No, I'm in the big tall chair. Nick just lower. I don't know why he does that. He lowers
every morning. Every morning, dude. Every morning I roll in there. And you know what I do? I'm just going to tell you this because hopefully he's not listening. I take his little tiny chair and I roll it to the furthest side of the room, and then I grab a tall chair. I'm like, dude, I'm 6'4". He's what, 5'4"? How is this working?
Hello, this is Joe Cordell. Cordell and Cordell is...
Does he rest his chin on the actual desk when he's doing the show?
We were trying to figure out, why his angle and my angle are so different. And it's just because his chair is so low. I think he wants everybody to see the Sactown Sports logo and the imaging behind him. I think that's what's going. I'm not sure, but yeah, he sits real low to the ground. Dave, I was saying I want to talk to Kings fans today because the vibe, the electricity is palpable. I went out last night and I got a comment here on the YouTube page from Chapa City. It says, I walked my dog in the freezing cold last night looking around like a damn fool. Did they ever gleam the beam? I went out last night just because I live not too far away from the arena, so I knew people were going to be trickling home, walking home in the streets of Midtown and downtown last night, and I just wanted to feel it. And you can feel it. It's palpable. You've been here a long time. How does this vibe compare to other Kings seasons and starts to seasons that you've felt before?
Well, I think it's about as exciting as it's been since the early 2000s. I actually think there's more excitement. I was talking about this earlier. There's more excitement now than there was in the last couple of years of the playoffs, because you have to remember the Kings had been in the playoffs for, 8 straight years, 7 straight years, whatever it was, and you get a little used to it. You get a little spoiled. And I think people were almost disappointed still off the 2002 robbery against the Lakers, and the trajectory was downhill. Now, it's, you remember, you saw the movie Shawshank Redemption?
Yes, love that movie.
Yeah, okay, so you remember when he crawled through the 500 yards of smelling filth, and he gets in the creek and he looks up at the moon and then the rain's falling on him. That's Kings fans right now. They are Andy Dufresne, and they have been freed.
Are you good with the Photoshop and all that, Dave? Because you could easily remake that with the beam instead of the moon, and it's Kings fans just coming out of the sewer and looking up at the beam. I love the beam, man. I can see it from the balcony of my apartment. I think that could be maybe seen as corny in other cities and markets around the country. I love it, man. I think it's a very cool thing that the whole city can kind of look at and go, oh, Kings won tonight. I'm from Chicago, Dave, and the W flag that hangs over Wrigley Field comes to mind, but a 21st century version of that.
You're talking about a market whose go-to gimmick in the past was a cowbell. So having a purple beam into the sky is so much, I love the cowbell for the history, but it's so much more cool. And I think, honestly, I don't want to tell any tales out of school here. They're working around the clock right now. I think there's going to be a lot more graphically and a lot more systematically with this beam over the next coming days and weeks. But the bottom line is this: there's no beam without any wins, and they're getting a lot of wins right now.
Dave, I was asking the question before the break. I don't know where you guys had this Kings team finishing, how you had this season going. I had them at 40 wins and battling for one of the play-in spots. I think that was one of the more optimistic predictions or takes on this team. Now I'm starting to wonder, and I'm wondering if it's too early to wonder if this thing could be even better than any of us expect, if we could actually be talking about, and they brought this up on TNT last night, forget a play-in, a playoff team.
Well, I think we were right around 38-42, you know, so we're all kind of similar. You're right. Mm-hmm. That is on the optimistic side. I would say this, there's a lot of season left, 69 games, to be exact. I think a lot of us are just one day at a time. We've been here before. We've been on the up and had our coach fired, Michael Malone. We've been on the up and had injuries before. Dave Yeager had this team 3 games over 500 after the midpoint, and they fell apart at the end. So I think it's a game-by-game thing. I think going in with San Antonio, Detroit next, they're favored by Vegas to have a 6-game winning streak before they go out on the road. But you have to play these teams. They have to beat the teams that are worse than they are. And Brooklyn, let's be honest, Kevin Durant's great and all, but they're a bad team, and they beat them. They shellacked them. I don't think it was good of a win as a Cleveland win on paper, but national TV, it had so much more meaning. One game at a time. It's tough for me to talk about playoff stuff right now because Ramie, my heart has been hurt so many times before.
All right. Then I'll stop going down that road, Dave. I didn't bring you here just for your love of the Kings. I also brought you here for your love of food and some draft mockery. Let's hit the open, then I'll explain to you and everyone else exactly what we're doing here.
You think we're being serious? Nah, we're just sarcastic. It's the draft mockery. We're in the room,
and we're checking our boards.
It's pretty simple. We just draft stupid random things every week. What's in the headlines, we can go off that, what's going on in the world, what's going on in sports. We just go off that. We pick random things to draft every week. Dave, you get it, right? Everybody gets it. It's a simple concept for everybody involved, right? Kyle, you get it. You're drafting. You get it, right? We all get it. We're all on the same page.
I've drafted fantasy teams before. I got the idea.
And today, because this is the last show, we'll be off the air much of next week for Kings basketball. Today, Dave, I know you love food as much as I love food. We both love to smoke meats and prepare fine meals for people we love. It's the last show before Thanksgiving. I thought we'd draft Thanksgiving side dishes. You a big side dish guy, Dave?
Oh, God. It is the Super Bowl of eating. I'm currently smoking ribs for Katie Christensen's birthday as we speak. You're speaking my language, dude. Let's go.
Okay, let's go. Let's do it. All right. They usually, like, Chris Verlade keeps track of, like, whose pick it is. Who cares? I don't, none of us know. And honestly, who cares? It's just a stupid radio bit. Dave, you are our guest. I'll give you the first pick, sir. What's your first pick in the Thanksgiving side dish draft in today's draft mockery?
Yeah, I'm going to go with stuffing. I'm just going to keep it simple and easy. I want to build depth in my side dishes, so you need something down low. I'm going stuffing.
All right.
Stuffing or dressing, by the way, either one.
Kyle, you're sort of a guest here today. You're not a regular member of the cast on the Cattles and Romney show. I'll let you have the second pick. Where are you going with your first round pick in the side dish draft?
Well, I think Dave got the best one, so if I'm picking second here, I would have taken stuffing had Dave not gone for it. So I will go with the sweet potatoes. I'm going to take the sweet potatoes with the second pick.
Wow, what an upset.
Yeah, I'm not look. I'm not going to get a pick for 3 more rotations, so I need to make sure that I have sweet potatoes on my plate.
He really wants those sweet potatoes on his plate, Dave. He really wants them there, and he doesn't know if they'll still be there next time his pick comes around. It's strategy.
Are the Raiders drafting?
I mean, I could have gone with the regular potatoes, but you know what? I got a little bit of a sweet tooth. You add a little pineapple in there,
I
know.
I want to thank you because I thought at least one of the 2 things I wanted at the top of my board would be gone by the time both of you picked. And the first one is a little controversial. I don't know how many Thanksgiving tables this is on, Dave. I'm curious if it's on your Thanksgiving table. Mac and cheese. That's a standard at my family's Thanksgiving. No.
That would have been my next pick, just so you know. So weirdly enough, in Sacramento, a number 2 pick goes awry. Wow, what do you know?
It's not like Luka Doncic fell after me, though.
No, you just picked the Marvin Bagley side dishes, though. Congratulations.
Yeah, but I've never had mac and cheese at my Thanksgiving, which I think I'm missing out on. But
you are. You for sure.
It seems like you're picking Jonathan Isaac at number 3 there.
We do this snake style, so I get 2 in a row. I'm gonna go with I really didn't think this would be on the board or on the menu, so to speak, by the time we got around it.
Robbie,
yes.
Before you pick, don't take his next pick, please.
I was not
Look
going
out.
peas. I thought about it, but I'm not going peas. No, instead I'm going to go mashed potatoes. Little mashed potatoes and gravy. Classic Thanksgiving, right? So give me some mashed potatoes and gravy. Kyle, back around to you, young man, with your second pick.
Well, see, I had assumed that the mashed potatoes would be gone at this point, unfortunately. Dave, I need to consult with you because you mentioned something. Is dressing its own category at this point?
Yeah, so I can tell the rules we're playing because stuffing is in the bird, dressing technically outside the bird. Don't stuff your bird, by the way. Either your bird will be dry, your stuffing will give you salmonella. But mashed potatoes and gravy are also apparently a combo as well. I wasn't sure about that.
No, gravy is its own thing. I'm sorry. I just meant if you're going to have mashed potatoes, you're going to put gravy on. I was just saying the classic Thanksgiving.
So if I needed to figure that out, so I'm going to take gravy with the next pick. Then.
Okay,
If that's its own category, then I am definitely taking gravy with my next pick.
That is fair. Dave, back around to you for your final two picks, sir.
Yeah, we're going to go green bean casserole.
Okay.
Green bean casserole, and then something that I do, and again, kind of like your mac and cheese. I don't know if this is, I could go with some of the same olds, but every single Thanksgiving, I make a big batch of collard greens and bacon. That's my own deal. I'm going to throw that in there as well. We're just going to have a big, fat, oily cholesterol Thanksgiving.
And then I believe I have just one more pick, and then I'll wrap it up. I'll go with oh, dang. I just had it in my head, and I drew roasted carrots. Oh, I love roasted carrots. I know it's kind of boring. It's a vegetable and whatnot, but roasted carrots, man, it's literally not just my favorite vegetable. It's one of my favorite foods, period. I don't know about you, Dave. Give me a roasted carrot. I'm a satisfied, happy man, and I don't say that about many vegetables.
It's no sweet potatoes, but hey, it goes on the plate.
Says the guy who chose green bean casserole.
Bro, come on. Green bean casserole is a classic.
I mean, but you made so much fun of me for sweet potatoes. Sweet potatoes would have gone before that,
I could do this all day, gentlemen, but I'm up against the clock. Carmichael Dave with Jason Ross weekday mornings here on Sactown Sports 1140. Dave, appreciate the time, man. Thanks a lot.
Always fun. Take care, guys.
And again, he joins me on the Folsom Lake Honda Hotline. All guests on the Folsom Lake Honda Hotline. From Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Kings talk continues after this. And who was the biggest acquisition of these last couple of years for the Sacramento Kings? My answer to that might surprise you. Next.
Cattles and Ramie. Sactown Sports 1140.
Hello, this is Joe Cordell. Cordell & Cordell is a firm that practices family law exclusively. We focus on only one area of the law to maximize our strength and effectiveness as advocates for clients that have everything on the line: their homes, retirement, savings, and most importantly, their children. We're the partner our clients count on. If we can be of help to you, give us a call.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Sacramento area attorneys. 500 Capitol Mall, Suite 2060, Sacramento, California, 95814.
Cut him off. Stay in front of him. Okay, take a break. Sacramento, Doug Christie here for the Good Feet store, asking whatever happened to the off-season. Seems there's never any downtime. Now, I'm not complaining, but it means that we've got to be at our best every day. No excuses allowed. That includes pain in the feet, legs, hips, and back. Fortunately, thanks to the Good Feet 3-step arch support system, you no longer need to be sidelined with foot-related pain. For over 25 years, Good Feet arch supports have been designed to comfortably put all four arches of the foot and whole body in its more ideal pain-free position. Good Feet makes over 300 styles, sizes, and flexibilities of arch supports. And to make sure you get just the right pair, a Good Feet arch support specialist will give you a free personalized fitting and test walk. Do your best every day with the pain-free comfort, balance, and support of Good Feet arch support. The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, and Modesto, online at goodfeet.com.
Life is uncertain. It's okay to feel stressed, anxious, worried, or frustrated. It's normal. With CalHope's free and secure mental health resources, it's easy to get the help you and your loved ones need when you need it the most. Call our warm line at 833-317-4673 or live chat at calhope.org today.
ATM Mortgage.
Hi, this is Jeff Tarbell with a very unique program for homeowners over 55 years old. How would you like to cut your house payment in half and maybe get some cash out too? Give ATM Mortgage a call. 916-338-9400, 338-9400, or online at atmmortgage.net.
ATM Mortgage.
License under California CFL and MLS 2234889.
The number one priority for the good folks over at American Energy is making sure you and your family are comfortable in your home for the holidays. And that's why they're giving away a free whole home HVAC system to one lucky family in the greater Sacramento area. If you know a family in need of being comfortable this winter, enter for your chance to win the American Energy Comfort Giveaway by going to the AE Way. That's the AE Way.com today. You could win a free whole home HVAC system. For the official contest rules, go to the AEWay.com. Hey, it's Carmichael Dave here for Capital Casino, and the primetime football giveaway, it's back. They're giving away a total of $500 for every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night primetime game, conveniently located at 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento, with plenty of well-lit parking and some of the best food in a friendly environment. For more information on tournaments and gaming, please log on to capital-casino.com, and please gamble responsibly. As always, 1-800-GAMBLER.
Dell Technologies' Black Friday event has arrived with select deals on top tech to power business productivity. The savings start now with up to 50% off select performance business PCs powered by 12th Gen Intel Core processors. Don't forget special pricing on the latest monitors, docks, and accessories, including free shipping on everything. Call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL for Black Friday deals. That's 877-ASK-DELL.
There is beauty and there's uncomfort in owning an older home. The craftsmanship back then, the way they were built, the character, all have their positives. Now, on the other side, older homes need some love and some tenderness, and in our case, some help. Jason Ross here to tell you about the help we're getting thanks to ACR Solar. Now, you hear solar, and you know what? Yes, they do solar, but after years and years of living at our house, the time has come to get a new roof. Our old roof has done its job, but it is done. It's tired, and it looks it. So after doing the proper research and talking with several roofing companies, we landed on ACR Solar. They stood out from the first visit when Joe, their roofing expert, came out and shared his knowledge. We knew at that moment we were at ease because we were in good hands. Also, after our conversations with John, the owner of ACR Solar, that just confirmed what my wife and I already knew, that ACR Solar was the right choice for us. So we're so excited to begin our journey with ACR Solar. We're going to have a beautiful new roof, become more energy efficient, and have the peace of mind we're looking for. ACR Solar, 916-481-2700, or you can visit them at acrsolar.com.
The flagship.
Ball game, Sacramento wins.
KHTK AM and HD1 Sacramento. KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sactown Sports 1140, the flagship station of your Sacramento Kings. Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
All right, everybody, this is Kyle Ledbetter, and these are your Sactown Sports 1140 headlines. Kyle Shanahan was non-committal when asked about the status of a Rick Armstead ahead of the 49ers game against the Cardinals Monday in Mexico City. Meanwhile, Kyler Murray is listed as day-to-day for the Arizona Cardinals while dealing with a hamstring injury that left him out of the game against the Rams on Sunday. In Major League Baseball, Sandy Alcantara of the Miami Marlins was named National League Cy Young Award winner, winning the award unanimously, while the American League Cy Young Award winner is expected to be announced later on here this evening. Those are your Sactown Sports 1140 headlines. Now, let's return to the Cattles and Romney Show.
Cattles and Romney. Sactown Sports 1140.
That's the show, hour number 2 of Cattles and Ramie. No Cattles, just Ramie this afternoon. Just talked with Carmichael Dave, biggest Kings fan I know. And as I said to start the show, this isn't because I'm lazy or lonely. Those things probably true, but it's not because I'm lazy and lonely that I want to hear from Kings fans today. I want to hear from Kings fans today because it's a pretty awesome day for Sacramento and was a pretty awesome night last night with the beatdown that they put on the Brooklyn Nets. By the way, later this hour, who's to blame? A Wednesday at 4:30 staple. We'll talk about those Brooklyn Nets and just what a mess they are and try to get to the bottom of who's to blame for that. That's coming up at 3:30. But text the show, 916-339-1140. You can give us a call, 800-920-1140. In just a second, I'll tell you who I think was probably the biggest acquisition of this entire rebuild for the Sacramento Kings, or reset, I guess we should call it. with some of the same cast of characters sticking around. But some of the texts that have come in, man, this one literally had me LOLing during the break from, well, you'll find out who it's from in just a second. It says, I am being so rude right now. I am at a restaurant with friends, and I have my phone to my ear just to hear Carmichael Dave's interview from Chris the Mom. Now, here's the part I left out. Here's the part I left out of that text. In parentheses, when she says at a restaurant with friends right now, in parentheses after that, it says, I'm not laughing at what happened, okay? I'm laughing at the fact that she's in a restaurant listening to the Carmichael Dave show when this is in the middle of her sentence, childhood friend passed away. Her friend passed away, and she's in a restaurant with people and has to phone up to her ear so she can hear Carmichael Dave on the Cattles and Romney show. That, ladies and gentlemen, is dedication to the station, to the show, to the Sacramento Kings from Chris the Mom right there.
That's, to whoever you are out there, thank you for listening to the show.
We appreciate it. On the draft mockery, which we did Thanksgiving side dishes, this from the 916. How did you guys leave cranberry sauce out of that? I'm going to be honest with you, whoever you are. Don't do cranberry sauce. Never really have. I don't even really get it. I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do with the cranberry sauce that's on my plate. Does that go with turkey? I don't want fruits with my turkey. It doesn't go with anything else that's on the plate. And maybe, because I always say to people when they're like, mac and cheese is just noodles and cheese. I'm like, you've been having poorly made mac and cheese your whole life. Maybe I've just never met the right cranberry sauce.
So I will say, when you got the rolls at Thanksgiving and you're putting like a little sandwich with some turkey, some mashed potatoes, some gravy, little cranberry sauce on there adds a nice little element to it. I will say.
I'm not here for it. I'm just gonna say not here for it. Another one from the 916. Yo, Ramie, thanks for retweeting my beam video. LOL. Hashtag Kings, 3 exclamation points. I think this is Eric Tejada, if I'm getting that right. Awesome video that he made. It's a video. It's a spoof of, not a spoof. He whatchamacallit? Photoshop? Is that what it is when you're doing video? Can you call it a Photoshop?
Yeah, you can call it a Photoshop.
Whatever. It's a scene from one of the Star Wars movies, from the Mega Death Star, where all the beams are going out and blowing up all the planets. But he did it with the purple beam. So a lot of good Twitter content out there based on the beam. I saw Rob Perez from ESPN last night with the Lord of the Rings beam video. A lot of good content. For, again, however long we still have Twitter, we should all enjoy the Kings together over there. And you can follow me at Ramie is tweeting. That's RAMIE is tweeting. And I want to hear from you, 916-339-1140. Text, phones 800-920-1140. Was Mike Brown the biggest offseason acquisition, or really the biggest acquisition of this whole reset, rebuild, whatever we're calling it here, that they've been doing since they made the trade last year for Domas Sabonis? Is Mike Brown the biggest acquisition that the Kings have made? Because this didn't really, all of this, the complete picture of what Mike Brown has meant to this didn't really dawn on me until last night, and watching this team on the national stage and hearing people who see the entire league on a night-to-night basis talk about this Kings team and the perception of this Kings team and why they are where they are. We'll hear from Kevin Durant in a second, but here's Charles Barkley last night talking about Mike Brown and his impact on the Kings.
I like Keegan Bradley, but I think the addition of the Mike Brown addition brings some stability. I think that's really going to be huge because Mike Brown is a good coach, but he's a stable guy. And then you got Malik Monk coming off the bench who played great with the Lakers last year, and now this year he's even playing better here.
So there's the guys on TNT talking about Mike Brown and the credibility that he brings. And honestly, that part of it, because if you're looking to change culture, and we talked a lot about buy-in, and buy-in starts with, and this was a big theme, and well, not a big theme, it was one of the chapters sort of in Phil Jackson's book, 11 Rings. You need your number one guy to buy into what you're doing, or nobody's going to fall in line behind that. And to get De'Aaron Fox or anybody else on this roster to buy in, it's a lot easier when you come with the track record and the reputation that a Mike Brown has. This dude coached LeBron, got to an NBA Finals with a roster that was basically just LeBron. Boobie Gibson was the number 2 on that team, all right? He comes from the Warriors, fresh off a championship, has the Eastern Conference Championship and a Coach of the Year under his belt. And don't discount what it means for mostly young black men on this roster, and for that to be a black man with that track record getting his next shot at an NBA job, and what it means for those guys to see that and how they perceive the organization for giving Mike Brown that opportunity that even Mike Brown himself has said he wasn't sure that he could get. You got instant credibility when you brought that guy in because of all those things that I talked about. And man, I guess I was underestimating or underselling Mike Brown's track record in this league. I didn't know this until Stan Van Gundy said it last night on the broadcast on TNT. Mike Brown is 10th in win percentages in win percentage for coaches that have coached 500 or more games. He's 354 and 222, a win percentage of 615 in this league. I was just going to say, and then it sounded stupid in my head before it came out of my lips, not too many guys are doing that. And you know how many guys have been better than that? 9, because he's 10th. He's 10th, that's why I sounded stupid coming out of my lips, saying not too many guys are doing that. He's 10th in win percentage, so only 9 other guys are doing what Mike Brown has done and winning at the clip and with the consistency that a Mike Brown leads. And if this really, to me, drives home what I'm talking about in terms of the buy-in, here's Kevin Durant, one of the best players in this league, talking about this Kings team and Mike Brown.
Man, they got a deep team. They got a lot of guys that can play real minutes on any NBA team. You know, they got 10, 11 guys that can do that. So, you know, when you step into a situation like that, you got 2 all-star caliber players and Sabonis and De'Aaron Fox. That's a great team to build with. So it was a great choice by Mike to choose the Sacramento Kings, and it's great by Sacramento to give Mike a chance because he's been a part of championships groups for the last 6-7 years. So just perfect pairing, I think.
And what KD is saying there is that those guys are talented. De'Aaron Fox, Sabonis, Malik Monk. The talent was there. And Nick and I were here talking. I got here right before Mike Brown was hired. We're talking about, this is a deeper roster than we've seen from the Kings in a long time, but it was going to take the right guy to come in here and set the tone and to get that instant credibility and that instant buy-in and for guys to be receptive to tough love. Man, Mike Brown is not easy on these guys. I think it was the second quarter last night, 15 seconds into the quarter, Terrence Davis makes a defensive mistake and Mike Brown is calling the timeout.
The first play
in the second quarter, right?
Brooklyn started with the ball. Brooklyn scored on a defensive breakdown, called a timeout.
And all these guys are very, very receptive to the tough love from Mike Brown because of what you just heard Kevin Durant say right there. It's really a hand and glove fit. And honestly, I don't know if you're getting what you're getting out of Kevin Huerter. I don't know if you're getting what you're getting out of De'Aaron Fox. I don't know if you're getting what you're getting out of Keegan Murray, Terrence Davis, Malik Monk. Go up and down this roster. I don't know if you're getting what you're getting out of those guys if Mike Brown isn't the head coach of this basketball team and the cohesiveness of all those guys that I just listed off and the rest of the cast. Was Mike Brown the biggest offseason acquisition in this reset that the Kings are trying to pull off over any of those players? Get in on the show. Give us a call, 800-920-1140. Text the show, 916-339-1140. It's Cattles and Ramie, all Kings, all day.
Cattles and Ramie, Sactown Sports 1140. You want the inside scoop on the Sacramento Kings?
Cattles and Romney are giving it to you.
Tune in every Thursday at 4 p.m. for an exclusive interview with a member of the Kings coaching staff.
You know, when you're talking about Foxy, we're going to utilize his speed. We're going to make sure the floor is spaced so he can get to the paint.
Keegan has a potential, and we have no doubt in our minds that he'll be a huge part of our winning in the future.
From your local sports leader.
Sactown Sports.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave from my friends at Amy Outdoor Living. And, every year there's an incredible metamorphosis into Sacramento's finest holiday store there. See dozens of beautiful, decorated, themed Christmas trees, hundreds of unique ornaments perfect for any tree, plus sensational gifts for everyone on your list. Just stroll through. Is there a better gift than a Traeger pellet grill? No. Specially priced for the holidays. Save $400 off the Timberline $850 and $1350, $200 off the Pro 575, $2 off all rubs, sauces, and seasonings, along with pellets. How about fire pits? A wonderful gift, and will be right where the family gets together to enjoy Christmas cheer. You're invited to experience the magic of the holidays at Amy's Outdoor Living. Now in 2 locations on El Camino near Watt and Carmichael, and inside Amy Ace Hardware at El Dorado Hills Town Center. Check them out, Amy Ace Hardware, and you tell them Carmichael Dave sent you for the holidays.
Trying to get you home after another long day and through the drive time afternoon traffic. Cattles and Ramie, Sactown Sports 1140.
Yeah, and if you're in that traffic, give me a call. Hands-free. Well, it's the law, folks. Hands-free calls to Cattles and Ramie at 800-920-1140. And don't text if you're driving. But if you're not driving, 916-339-1140 as we keep you company on the drive home today. No Cattles, just Ramie, and I want to talk to Kings fans all afternoon. You can get in there. Like I said, phones, texts. You can also comment on the YouTube page, youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140. I was asking before the break, do you think Mike Brown has been the biggest acquisition of this reset or rebuild? By the way, people are coming at me about cranberry sauce in the text line. This one from the 916. Cranberry sauce is amazing with gravies and mashed potato and the turkey and the stuffing, a.k.a. dressing. It's so good. Another one from the 916. Turkey sandwich with mayo and cranberry sauce. No, dude. Mayo. You guys are gross. This is disgusting. What is happening? You're not changing my mind on any level here. I like fruit. I love fruit. I had a smoothie today before I came in. I like a good fresh, crisp apple. You know what I mean? A juicy orange. I don't want it with my other food. I don't want fruits in my salad. I don't want fruit cranberry on my turkey or with my mash. What are we doing?
I'm going to disagree with you, Ramie.
Really?
Because I've had cranberry as a staple of my Thanksgivings. I'm not going to say it's my favorite. I let it slide down our draft board a little bit, but if we'd played a couple more rounds, I definitely would have scooped up cranberry.
I would send you home right now. You weren't the only person.
But then you'd have to run board and host the show again like you were in Milwaukee.
Yes, I did. But as I was saying about Mike Brown, this one from the 916, I think Mike is the biggest acquisition because he is the person who's putting it all together. What he's done has been amazing with the guys to play together and buy in. And then what he did, he called out the referees and put the league on notice, and the Kings are getting more respect now. That's the other thing. I forgot all about that when I was making my case for Mike Brown being the biggest acquisition for this team. Yeah, man. I think I grew up in Chicago watching the 90s Bulls, and I watched Phil Jackson play referees like a fiddle. What these guys, not just on the court and dogging referees on the court or on the sideline, that has an effect too, but sometimes the most effective thing you can do as a coach and the biggest impact you can have if you feel like your team isn't getting a fair shake from referees is to go to that podium and tell people, hey, and not like rant, rave, swear, you know what I mean? Throw stuff like this is what's happening and here's why I think it's happening. And I think he was really onto something in saying that there's this perception of the king and kings and people expect them to lose. And so referees, almost subconsciously, it sounded like he was saying referees referee the game to that effect, with that in the back of their mind, oh, the Kings are supposed to lose. They must have fouled this guy here, or must not have gotten the foul on this particular
and
play.
Ramie, remember that when he made those comments after the loss where Tyler Hero traveled, he didn't get fined for that. When he was talking about subconscious calls against the Kings, he didn't get fined for that by the league, and that was something that was a weird talking point a couple weeks ago.
All right, one more thing about cranberry sauce from the 916. Says, Robbie, it has to be homemade cranberry sauce and not crappy stuff from a can, but some homemade stuff with a little orange zest in there, off the charts. Okay, man, I'm not – look, cranberries with a little orange zest sounds delicious, right? But like on a biscuit, on an English muffin – what does that have to do with my Thanksgiving?
It's good, man.
No,
it's good.
No.
Like you can mix it with other stuff. I mean, I think you can get canned cranberry sauce and still make it good. It's all about the effort that you put in. But
keep that off my spread.
I don't get it, man. I mean, again, I'm a sweet tooth guy. I took sweet potatoes, so like I understand it. Like no, I understand the disdain.
I don't want anything to do with it, and I'm moving on from it. Right now, I'm done with this discussion.
From this point forward, we're done with the cranberries.
That's right. I'm moving on from this right now, and I want to ask Kings fans instead.
So you got a good word.
Can we say these Kings are different? And I'm not just talking about this season. 800-920-1140. Text the show 916-339-1140. And some of you are probably going, wait, you're not just talking about this season? Now you're really getting carried away. But here's all I'm saying. There seems to be some stability, a cohesiveness, a plan to this whole thing. Going back to what I was just saying with Mike Brown, people in place that sort of have been there and done it before and know how it's done and are part of mapping this thing out and planning this thing out. And when you look at contractually and age-wise with this Kings team, short of Domas, who will be a free agent after next year, I believe it is, the majority of this team and the core of this team, it doesn't feel scattered or like the ticking time bomb that previous attempts at putting together a playoff or a play-in team have had for the Sacramento Kings. Even then, and I said when this season started, and maybe a grain of this still holds true, that the way the Kings were building this thing was a little bit short-sighted because you didn't have the number one guy on this roster, a guy who could be a number one on a championship team. And when you're not tanking and you're not a team that can go out and buy free agents like that, it seemed a little bit short-sighted in terms of building this thing to win now and get at least a play-in spot now. But I'm going to back off that a little bit and looking at this, because now seeing what this thing looks like and stepping back and taking the 30,000-foot view and everything I said about Mike Brown and what he brings to the table, I don't think this thing is the ticking time bomb that a lot of other Kings rosters and Kings blueprints have been in the past. There seems to be something to this. There seems to be some foundation being laid that seems sustainable to some degree and maybe even can get better as these guys, man, De'Aaron Fox is 24. He hasn't even entered his prime yet. Domas is 26. I think Kevin Huerter is 24 or 25 years old. I don't have that in front of me right now. But these guys are still getting better, and as a unit are still getting better. And Mike Brown, as I've been saying, has everyone pointed in the same direction and in the right direction. There's one element to this that makes me pump the brakes a little bit in terms of asking if these Kings are different. And that's what I'm asking you. 800-920-1140 or text the show 916-339-1140. And we had a text come in earlier from the 916. Vivek needs to give Monty an extension now if he wants to avoid being the laughingstock of the NBA again. That is the one piece of this thing that they got to get locked in to avoid this being another ill-fated attempt at getting the Kings back to respectability. You need to get that guy locked in and locked in soon to lock in this stability that I'm talking about, this cohesiveness, this coherence to the plan that the Kings seem to have in place right now, and that seems to be moving in the right direction. Do you think these Kings are different? And was Mike Brown the biggest acquisition? That and anything else Kings? Want to talk to Kings fans today at 800-920-1140 or text the show 916-339-1140. And also, who's to blame for that mess we saw last night from Brooklyn? That yet to come on the Cattles and Romney Show.
It's Cattles, it's Ramie.
Sactown Sports 1140.
Hanley's Kia in Davis is having its biggest sales event of the year. Our November Black Friday sales event is here. Our inventory is growing daily. Don't miss your chance for great deals now on all new Kias. Get $1,000 off MSRP on the all-new redesigned 2023 Kia Niro Hybrid, rated at over 50 miles per gallon. 10 to choose from at this price. Come check out Hanley's Kia's inventory of gas-saving models during our Black Friday sales event. Rio, Soul, Forte, Niro Hybrid, K5, Stinger, EV6 plug-in, Seltos SUV, Sportage Hybrid SUV, Sorrento Hybrid and plug-in SUV, and Telluride SUV. We offer zero down, special APR financing, and we can also help with any credit problems. Don't miss your chance. It's here, the Hanley's Kia Black Friday sales event. Hanley's Kia is located at 4318 Childs Road, just off I-80 at the Mace Boulevard exit in Davis.
$1,000 off MSRP on all new 2023 Niro hybrids. All financing subject to credit approval. All offers expire 11/30/2022.
Folks, there's been some fumbles on the way to the big game, but he's been getting some help to get it done tonight. Here's the throw. And he's off to the races. He might go all the way. He's at the 30, the 20, the 10, touchdown. He did it, folks. He did it.
Regain and optimize your sexual performance, drug-free and surgery-free. The Gainswave treatment will help you get that bedroom touchdown. See what Dr. Dan Botha and his team at Gainswave can do for you. Visit gainswavecalgary.ca.
It's time for your furnace tune-up with Clark & Rush. Just $69. We service all brands like Carrier. Turn to the experts for this comprehensive multi-point inspection, maintenance, and safety check. License 608005. We're continuing to take measures to keep you safe. Call today and schedule your $69 tune-up.
Heating and air, plumbing, insulation, gutters, windows, too. Smart energy savings is what we do. Clark & Rush.
Call 916-609-2665.
When it's time to service your vehicle, experience matters. Trust the experts at Folsom Lake Honda. We understand how important it is to have a safe and reliable vehicle, and our highly trained technicians will get the job done right the first time. Check engine light on? We'll check it for free. Need an oil change? Our express service will have you in and out fast. Come in or schedule your service online today.
Folsom Lake Honda. Yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Did you know addiction to drugs like meth or cocaine is a disease and not a choice? But getting help is. If you have stimulant use disorder, you, your family, and friends may have a lot of questions, including where to start. Choose Change California can help. Make a change today and find a proven treatment option for you at choosechangeca.org.
Carmichael Dave for my good friend Shelby and everybody over at refinanceWithShelby.com. Home equity is the best way for you to build up and pass on wealth. The Equity Builder program happening right now gives first-time home buyers a head start on this with immediate equity in the home via a loan of up to 10% of the purchase price. Now, here's the deal. The loan is completely forgiven if you live in the house as your primary residence for 5 years. Think about that. A $450,000 home. You make about $80,000. You get $45,000 down as part of the Equity Builder program, and you live in the home for 5 years, boom, the loan is gone. You got to be a first-time home buyer. You got to occupy the property as your primary residence. That's about it. Couple of other things, and you're good to go. That's it. Go to refinanceWithShelby.com. It's a no-brainer. It's the best way to get into this market. Refinance with Shelby.com. NMLS number 279051, BRE number 01864354.
When the world's best players get fitted for new golf clubs, they want to see their ball flight outdoors. And why should you settle for any less? The Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio is the area's unquestioned leader in delivering a new age of golf club fitting to Northern California. With 14 trained, skilled professionals to show you how to hit the ball farther and straighter, satisfied customers have increased their yardage, improved their games, and gained confidence. Call 916-808-2531 to get started. That's 808-2531 for longer, straighter drives.
Sactown Sports Headlines.
All right, everybody, this is Kyle Ledbetter, and these are your Sactown Sports 1140 headlines. The San Francisco 49ers are on their way to Mexico City to play the Arizona Cardinals on Monday. However, we don't know who will be quarterbacking the Cardinals for that game. Kyler Murray remains day-to-day with a hamstring injury. Colt McCoy, who started in their victory against the Los Angeles Rams Sunday, would be slated to start in his absence. The Kings may be off today, but we have 10 NBA games getting slated to start tonight. The Washington Wizards are leading 33-18 against the Oklahoma City Thunder. Bradley Beal is returning after missing 4 games due to health and safety protocols. He has 10 points and 4 assists. The Orlando Magic trailed the Minnesota Timberwolves 17-27, and the Pacers and Hornets are currently locked in an 18-18 tie. Those are your Sactown Sports 1140 headlines. Now, let us return to the Cattles and Romney Show.
One guy's trying not to throw furniture.
That's a personal foul. While the other's still trying to find some.
Cattles and Romney. Cattles and Romney. Sactown Sports 1140.
That's the show. No Cattles, just Ramie today. Ramie and you at 800-920-1140. If you'd like to talk on the phone, you can text 916-339-1140. Going to play a little Who's to Blame here in just a minute and try and find out who's to blame for that mess of a basketball organization that we saw the Kings play against last night in that huge victory. But let's get out to the phones. And Taylor, you're on Cattles and Ramie. What's up?
Hey, so I just wanted to say, who gets the credit for, who's the best acquisition, I guess you said.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, honestly, it's the diversified talent. You had Halliburton and Fox kind of competing at the guard, and that was our 2 best players. And now we don't have that issue. We have diversified talent across the board. We have guys that can defend, guys that can shoot, and, a guy that can rebound and dish out the ball in Sabonis. I think, diversified talent is really the credit for all of this right now. And, Monty McNair is at the head of that. So I think he gets the credit on this one.
Yep, that's a great point. Thanks for the call. Good teams in any sport, they just have many, many ways to beat you. And the Kings are showing that they kind of have that. Maybe not as many as you'd like to have in the Swiss Army knife, or as a championship contender would have in the Swiss Army knife, but they have different ways to beat you. They have versatility. Here's a text from Chavez in the 530. Says these Kings are different as they don't have a ton of dead weight. It'll be fun to see if they are different enough. Totally agree about Monty and stability too. Great point. And listen, people, enough with your cranberries. All right, stop texting me about your cranberries.
Ramie, you said you were going to let it go last segment. You said
I'm letting it go. But the texters can't seem to let it. Somebody texted cranberries better than yams with marshmallows. I don't say this to be disrespectful, but I hate you. Whoever texted that. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Both frustrated and angry.
On this joyous day, right? We're all here coming together, unity, celebrating this big Kings victory on national TV. And I got to tell people I hate them because they like cranberries more than yams with marshmallows. Teach their own. Everybody have a happy Thanksgiving. Eat lots of food. Have some cranberry sauce for me. Let's play a little Who's to Blame, Kyle.
Who did what and why? Who are you pointing the finger at?
It's not whether you win or lose. It's how you place the blame.
It's Who to Blame on Cattles and Romney.
As good as we're feeling here today in Sacramento today, the dozens of Brooklyn Nets fans are feeling
dozens. That's quite generous.
Are feeling equally as bad about their basketball team today. And I don't need to tell you folks this. If you're listening to this, you know basketball, you know the NBA, you know what's going on with those Brooklyn Nets. And man, it's not been good. It has not lived up to the expectations that they had there for a good long while. And it seems to somehow just keep getting uglier and uglier and worse and worse. And you want to feel bad for Kevin Durant, and I'll get to Kevin Durant in a second and why I'm feeling less and less bad for him. Because, man, if you ask me, you know what? I'm going to reverse course. Let me talk about Kevin Durant first here real quick for a second. Because I love Kevin Durant. I'm a Kevin Durant guy. I'm a Kevin Durant stan. I think he gets a bad rap. He catches heat sometimes for things he doesn't deserve to catch heat for. I love that he, in a very petty way, claps back at people on Twitter. I find that fun and amusing, and it's really what Twitter is for, okay? So I will usually, when Kevin Durant says the stuff or does the stuff that rubs people the wrong way, it doesn't bother me, and sometimes I actually kind of like it and get a little chuckle out of it. And I thought in his one-on-one with the Bleacher Report and Chris Haynes, he said some pretty interesting and thoughtful and almost profound things that I agreed with and that I was nodding my head as I was reading along. Like when he talked about people will say he's not a leader because Kyrie Irving didn't get his vaccine or decided to leave the team last year to go live his life. And he's like, hey, man, that's a grown man. I can't tell him how to live his life, what to put in his body, and we can have conversations behind closed doors that y'all don't need to know about in terms of what I think about what Kyrie or any of my other teammates are doing on the basketball court or off. We can have those conversations man to man, and you don't know what I'm saying. And so you can't say if I'm a leader or not, and I think that's a good point. When he was talking about these struggles and about how it's a different experience and something that everybody has to go through in their NBA career and really processing it in what I thought was a healthy way. I was going, okay, yeah, that's pretty thoughtful of Kevin Durant to think of things in this way. But there was a couple things in this one-on-one that, and again, for a Kevin Durant stan, really, really rubbed me the wrong way. For one, when he was talking about his request for a trade. And some of the stuff about his request for a trade, he thought they weren't working hard enough. He thought they weren't preparing the right way. Okay, I respect that. Kevin Durant's one of the greatest to ever step on the hardwood. If he has some input as to how y'all should be getting prepared, then probably good to listen to. But then he gets to this part, and he says, I want us to be respected out here in the basketball world. I don't want players to look at us and say, oh, man, these bleeps are full of bleep. That's not the type of team I want to be on. So when we're playing like beep, you know the one person they're going to look at. That's why I requested a trade. Yeah, man, that's part of the burden and the cost of greatness is that you get a lot of credit and a lot of shine when things are good, but you're also going to get a lot of the blame when things are bad, and rightly so, especially in the NBA, where one player can almost single-handedly carry their team to contention. And people expect Kevin Durant to be that type of player. So that's really a crappy reason to be looking for a trade, dude, that you wanted to deflect blame.
It's especially so because we know how much power Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving have in that organization specifically. We've seen it over the past few years, and a friend of the show, Jared Greenberg, a couple weeks ago had a great thread talking about the last 3 years and all of the crazy circumstances surrounding this. We know how much power they have in that organization. And so when the burden falls on Kevin Durant and specifically Kyrie Irving, that's part of the responsibility of having that power at a certain
You
point.
can't just crave the credit and the respect, but then not want anything to do with any of the blame. Like that's just not. That's just, again, some of the stuff that he said about why he wanted to trade, about being a leader, I thought was really thoughtful and insightful, and I was nodding my head and agreeing with him. That's not the reason to look for a trade, man, because you don't want people to blame you for your team being bad. That's going to come with the territory anywhere. So unless you want to keep hitching your star to Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, that's going to happen. And then this part. Look at our starting lineup. Edmund Sumner, Royce O'Neal, Joe Harris, Claxton, and me. It's not disrespect, but what are you expecting from that group? Durant asked of Bleacher Report. You expect us to win because I'm out there? So if you're watching from that lens, you're expecting us to play well because number 7 is out there. Yes, man. Yes. And you can't. Dude, LeBron has done this plenty in critiquing his supporting cast. I don't know that I remember LeBron ever naming guys, ever going, can you believe Edmund Sumner, Royce O'Neal, Joe Harris, and Nick Claxton are starting next to me, Kevin Durant, and expect me to win basketball games? Like, dude, you can't throw your teammates under the bus by name and say these guys aren't good enough to win basketball games. You can't do that.
Well, so the alternative is otherwise, because I understand, like, he's not good enough to carry the team, but at a certain point, that is disrespect to your teammates. It can't be that.
By name! By name! This dude's basically laughing at the thought of Edmund Sumner being an NBA basketball player, which I was too last night. Edmund Sumner doesn't have to take the court with me, so I can do that. So bringing this back full circle to who's to blame, because the other thing today, I didn't even get to this because I wanted to rant about KD. And by the way, this does relate to the Kings because A, the Kings whooped them last night, and B, this should accentuate your joy as a Kings fan, as a fan of the organization that's had so much dysfunction, to watch this thing burn so gloriously in Brooklyn. But the other thing to come out today was Ben Simmons and a report that the Nets are starting to get frustrated and question Ben Simmons. Yeah, dude, like the rest of us. Like, what are you doing? Ultimately, who's to blame for all this? Because that's what we're doing right now. Who's to blame on Cattles and Romney? It's a guy whose name I haven't even brought up yet, and that's Joe Tsai, the owner. Because, man, you keep on inviting people into your house that keep starting fires. And then you're like, why is the house on fire? Because you invited arsonists into your home.
Or that's James Harden walked in, he's like, oh my God, everything's on fire. Okay, I need to get out of here.
Right. It's crazy. You can't. And then he wanted to hire Ime Udoka, who comes with his own matches. You know what I mean?
That was incredible. And public pressure and private pressure is the only reason that didn't happen. They were set up to hire him 2 Thursdays ago, and then in 6 days it went from we're going to hire him, it's a done deal, to we've kind of backed off of this.
It's all crazy.
Just terrible.
It's all crazy what they got going on there. Want to hear from you, Kings fans, though. And again, that has to really, I don't know about you, it makes me smile watching Brooklyn just burn, just crash and burn. It really warms my heart. And if you're a Kings fan, it should warm your heart that much more, because you're usually the one that people are taking joy in your demise. More Kings talk right after this. Want to hear from Kings fans? 800-920-1140. Text the show 916-339-1140. And more Kings talk right after this. Cattles and Romney.
Cattles and Romney. Sactown Sports 1140.
The number one priority for the good folks over at American Energy is making sure you and your family are comfortable in your home for the holidays. And that's why they're giving away a free whole home HVAC system to one lucky family in the greater Sacramento area. If you know a family in need of being comfortable this winter, enter for your chance to win the American Energy Comfort Giveaway by going to the AE Way. That's the AE Way.com today. You could win a free whole home HVAC system. For the official contest rules, go to the AEway.com.
Have you heard the news? New Hondas are back at Capital City Honda, including the all-new redesigned 2023 CR-V and HR-V. Stop by today or visit us at capcityhonda.com and see our new car inventory with no dealer markup. Have a car to sell or trade? We're paying top dollar for any make and model. Cap City Freeway at the Fulton Avenue exit by the Hagen Oaks Golf Complex. CapCityHonda.com.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
Golf Monthly lists 10 things great golfers don't do. They don't arrive at the course with minutes to spare. Get there in time to properly warm up. They don't follow one mistake with another. Take your medicine and move on. They don't lose their cool. Tiger takes 10 steps and the problem is gone from his mind. They don't give up. A bad round can always get better. They don't blame their tools. It wasn't the putter's fault you three-putted. And they don't worry about three-putting. move to the next hole and try again. Great golfers don't take unnecessary risks. Keep those large numbers off the scorecard. They don't underclub. Weekend golfers think they hit the ball farther than they actually do. They don't always hit the driver. Put the big stick back in the bag when it's not behaving. And finally, great golfers don't hit balls randomly. Have a plan on the range and stick to it, and take that same plan to the course. It's a game. Have some fun out there. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
What's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblett of Hoblett Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, and Woodland. Chad, what's going on for Chrysler's Black Friday sales event?
Right now, save up to $6,000 off MSRP on new 2022 Ram 2500 Laramie Crew Cab 4x4s with no payments for 90 days. If you need a new work truck, that's 3 months of work before your first payment. And only at Hoblett, save an extra $1,000 for all business owners, farmers, and first responders.
Wow, a Hoblett exclusive $1,000 discount. That's double what Chrysler was offering. Do you have anything else going on, Chad?
Yep, you can save up to $10,000 off MSRP on new 2022 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cabs with no payments for 90 days and interest rates so low you'll think it's 2019. Plus, with our true price, you don't have to worry about last-minute add-ons or dealer markups.
Stop by the Hoblett Ram Truck Center off County Road 102 and I-5 in Woodland, or search Select and Save at HoblettDodge.com. Best prices, best selection, period.
$6,000 total net savings after $1,000 factory rebates and $5,000 dealer discount. Rebates include $1,000 Hoblett Ram coupons only while supplies last. Dealer discounts include $1,000 business owner, farmer, first responder discount. Not all buyers will qualify. $10,000 total net savings after $5,500 factory rebates and $4,500 dealer discounts. Rebates include $1,000 Chrysler Capital bonus cash. Must finance with Chrysler Capital qualify, and $1,000 Hoblett Ram coupons only while supplies last. 5 each net savings. See dealer for details.
Sacramento has a new tag team in the afternoons.
You're talking to the original tag team of ugly pukes here.
It's Cattles. It's Ramie.
Sactown Sports 1140.
Well, it's Ramie. It's not Cattles. He'll be back tomorrow. We hope JJ is back tomorrow. He's a little under the weather. We're allowed out the rest of the week. Kyle Ledbetter, other side of the glass. I think this is, you wouldn't know because you're not supposed to be here today. You're just filling in, and admirably, I might add. Kyle, new bumper music, I believe, that we just heard there. I don't know what that was, but I was enjoying it.
That is me putting a little flavor on the show, shall we say.
Oh, that was a Kyle Ledbetter jam.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're not a fan of The Weeknd, my friend?
I do like The Weeknd. I didn't spot the tune. I didn't name that tune. Which song from The Weeknd?
It is I Feel It Coming by The Weeknd. It's from the Starboy album.
Okay. All right. I missed that one. Yeah. My bad. All right.
Nice little flavor to it.
It's been all Kings all afternoon, and it'll remain all Kings all afternoon, including your calls at 800-920-1140. You can text the show 916-339-1140. Small break from the Kings talk for Robstats Guerrera of Niner Nation. He'll be here to talk some Niners and football coming up at 5:15. You can always check us out on our YouTube page, youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140. And speaking of that YouTube page, before I get to some of your comments and some of your texts that have been trickling in throughout the show, join Carmichael Dave, who's here earlier, Nick, who was on the recap last night, myself, I'll be on the recap tomorrow, and rising star at Sactown Sports, Chris Watkins, all season on the Sactown Sports Kings recap show at our YouTube page, youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140. After every Kings game this season, and we give you an interactive post-game experience as soon as that game is over, which nobody else is doing. And check out the Kings Mailbag, hosted every Friday by the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, and this fine program right here, Cattles and Romney. Submit your questions to the Kings Mailbag at SactownSports.com. Subscribe by searching Sactown Sports on YouTube, and then when you get there, give us the likes, give us the subscriptions, all the things to cheat all the algorithms so we can do this more and get into more eyes and more ears and do more of this stuff for you. Some of the comments on our YouTube page, this from TC says 45 wins, 6 seed for show. Better get with it before it's too late. Simone says, thanks for being our good luck charm, Ramie. You're welcome, Simone, and all of Sacramento, as once again, the Mackloff Magic hard at work. You know, the Mackloff Magic, especially, not to keep harping on this and tooting my own horn, because I wouldn't do it. I'm not the type.
You seem like a humble guy, Ramie.
So humble. The Mackloff, especially strong in the world of basketball. Take a look at my life, Kyle Ledbetter. I grew up in the 90s in Chicago with, obviously, Michael Jordan and the Bulls.
Mm-hmm.
Then I had Derrick Rose. Then I go to Milwaukee. Giannis shows up. I come here. We see what's happening here. Like, and it works in all sports, but it's especially especially strong in the NBA.
It's like Jerry West. You do a job in one place, move on to the next, and start building something new.
It really is. It really is. So you're welcome, Simone and all of Sacramento. Cole G says, if the Kings win the next 2 at home, I'll be okay with a 1-2 tough 3-game road trip. And Tony Dogs asks, who do they play next? It'll be the Spurs tomorrow. And again, yours truly on the Sacramento Kings recap show at youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140. Oh, here's one from Sactown Sports commenting. Oh, wait. No, it went away.
Would that be my comment saying that
One about my dog being very cute? Was that you?
Yeah, that was me. He's a very, very good boy.
He is a very good and very cute boy. Kyle watches my dog sometimes when I'm out of town. He's a good young man we have there on the other side of the glass. Some texts that have come in. I do want to talk about Domas Sabonis in just a second and just the absolute beast that he has been. Lithuanian lasagna, as Shaq called him last night on the game. But some of your texts that have come in, 415, Monty McNair has done an unbelievably great job of putting this Kings team together. 916 wants to know which Nets team was a bigger dumpster fire. We're talking about the Kings and who's to blame for the dumpster fire that they are right now. The KG Pierce team or this one? The KG Pierce thing, that was, I think everybody knew that they were kind of rolling the dice on that with the age of all the guys they were trying to put together and sort of recreate what they had a couple of years earlier in Boston. I don't think the expectations were for that squad what they were for this squad.
People forget they made it to the second round of the playoffs one of those years. Like, it wasn't a total catastrophe. It was just that team never had a chance of being championship good. Even though they had big names, they were all big names in their 30s.
You know, one of the things that got kind of lost in the sauce last night, or maybe you've just already come to expect this and it's become routine, but 7 guys in double figures last night, and Terrence Davis was the big story, and rightly so, with 31 points in 26 plus minutes off the bench, as well as 4 assists and 9 rebounds. But man, another just workman's like really, really good night, double from Domas Sabonis, 17 points, almost a triple double, 17 points, 7 assists and 7 rebounds in that game yesterday, and really just kind of dominating Brooklyn. And they don't have a ton of big men on that roster that Domas shouldn't be able to handle, but it's almost looking to me, and I don't know about you guys, and again, you're welcome to get in on the Kings conversation at 800-920-1140 or text the show 916-339-1140. It was a slow start for Domas at the beginning of the year, but it seems to me that he's really, really sort of finding his place and his comfort zone in Mike Brown's offense, in working with Kevin Huerter. I talked earlier about the 2-man game with him and Kevin Huerter. We saw glimmers, flashes of the 2-man game that he and De'Aaron Fox could be last year before Fox was injured and out for the rest of the season. It really seems like he's settled in, and he's to that point. He's gotten to that point where you can expect, and maybe that's why not a lot of people were talking about it in the aftermath, and it was more about Terrence Davis and beams and Band-Aids and everything else. But you can almost expect like close to 20 points, close to 10 rebounds, one of the better passing and assist big men in the game. I don't want to say his game he's taken it to a new level, because we've seen stuff like this from Domas before, but it looked like there was an adjustment period with everything that was changing around him to get back to being that guy and being that guy consistently who you can count on for that type of production night in and night out. And I think he's gotten there after well, it's been 5-6 straight games now that he's been putting up those types of numbers. I think he's gotten there in this version of the Sacramento Kings that they want him to be a major piece of. And I love the nickname, the Lithuanian lasagna. I don't know exactly what it's supposed to mean, but I like Lithuanian lasagna. I think that's a very strong name that Shaq came up with for Domas Sabonis last night.
It's alliteration. And alliteration sometimes
always good.
works.
It's always good.
Yeah.
By the way, speaking of the NBA on TNT, guys, I said earlier, it's cool that the Kings, the coolest thing about it is the Kings got that national stage and that national spotlight and did what they did with it, but also any reason to watch what I think is one of the best shows on television. Not in sports television, on television, period.
Yes,
I agree NBA on TNT.
It is great entertainment anywhere on cable television.
And for moments just like this between Shaq and Chuck.
Can they make the playoffs without the play-in?
Yes.
There you go.
There you go.
See, that's all we ask.
And if they get into the playing games, they're still gonna make the playoffs.
Well, if you take
you don't get to have your cake and eat it too. Obviously you do, fat boy.
Okay. well, you listen. You always,
no.
I know you act like you skinny.
By the way, Shaq is. I don't know if you've seen lately. Shaq has been hitting the gym. He is leaned out. Like he's got a little bit of the six pack on. You can see the lines. Shaq, I don't know. What's the endorsement? There's got to be an endorsement. Is it Weight Watchers? Is it Nutrisystem? What? Who's paying Shaq to lose all this weight?
But this is the conflict of interest here, is that he also he's in all these Papa John's commercials.
That's true.
Well, also,
but Papa John's just created maybe the most disgusting item in the world of mainstream food, the Papa John's pizza bowl, which is just pizza toppings, no dough in a bowl. Maybe
what?
Yeah, maybe Shaq's been eating the pizza bowls and skipping the carbs. Maybe that's how he got down to the lean form that he's in now.
So it's just like meat and cheese in a
meat
bowl?
And cheese and pizza sauce, dude. I know.
What?
I know. It sounds terrible.
Why would anyone want that?
No idea. No clue. And I'll mess with Papa John's. I'm not going to sit here and I'm a bit of a pizza snob. I'm from Chicago. I can't help it. But I'll mess with Papa John's, especially after they got rid of Papa John, you know? But that sounds terrible. Whoever came up with that, not your finest moment is I guess all I can say. 916 says pump the brakes. Don't get too excited. It's one win. And at a 40 that we need, the Nets are not the team to use as a judge to say the Kings are back. They are a stepping stone, and I was waiting for the other shoe to drop. See, 2 hours of fun and optimism and happy-go-lucky Kings talk, and you got to come in with that nonsense from the 916. Speaking of that, by the way, is that nonsense over outside the city of Sacramento? We'll discuss right after this. Cattles and Ramie.
Cattles and Ramie. Sactown Sports 1140.
Hello, this is Joe Cordell. Cordell & Cordell is a firm that practices family law exclusively. We focus on only one area of the law to maximize our strength and effectiveness as advocates for clients that have everything on the line: their homes, retirement, savings, and most importantly, their children. We're the partner our clients count on. If we can be of help to you, give us a call.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Sacramento area attorneys. 500 Capitol Mall, Suite 2060, Sacramento, California, 95814.
The new Fords have arrived at Folsom Lake Ford. I know you've been waiting for a new F-150 or maybe an Explorer or Expedition. Guess what? Folsom Lake Ford has them. Your truck headquarters for over 30 years right here in Sacramento is all stocked up with new Fords and used vehicles. Save with low interest financing on your favorite new models and zero down deals available on all new and used vehicles with approved credit. Get top dollar for your trade, making your monthly payment on your new Ford even lower. Folsom Lake Ford is the only dealership I recommend to my friends. A Triple Crown Award winner for sales, service, and finance. Highway 50 Folsom exit, or browse fresh inventory online at folsomlakeford.com. It's updated almost daily. And if you can't find what you're looking for, give them a call. Tell them Doug Christie sent you. Folsom Lake Ford.
My daughter is in middle school, which means my car has to put up with, well, girls opening the door when their nail polish isn't quite dry, or soccer kids kicking the door shut with muddy cleats, or when their school crush shakes up a soda and opens it right in front of my bumper. So you can expect my car to look a mess, but I defy expectations. Thanks to Quick Quack, I don't have to look like middle schoolers are running this show, even though they kind of are. Head to Quick Quack for a shine that lets you defy expectations.
At Ashton & Price, we get injury victims to yes. Experience, yes. Ashton & Price has been around for over 25 years. No more insurance companies? Yes. Our clients focus on getting better, and we handle all the rest. Results? Yes. We've collected over $100 million for injury victims. No fee until we win? Yes. Our clients pay nothing until we win. Ashton & Price, the best at getting to yes. Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
Black Friday is starting early at Fasteners Inc. Tool Outlet, and there's no better place to shop for all your power tools. Grab free batteries with tons of Makita products and many more of the year's hottest deals. November 21st through the 28th, save $100 on Makita 18-volt rear handle circular saw kit and take home 2 extra batteries on us. Again, our Black Friday sale will be November 21st through the 28th. Check us out at 6701 Power Inn Road or online at fastenersinc.net. Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
Golf Monthly lists 10 things great golfers don't do. They don't arrive at the course with minutes to spare. Get there in time to properly warm up. They don't follow one mistake with another. Take your medicine and move on. They don't lose their cool. Tiger takes 10 steps and the problem is gone from his mind. They don't give up. A bad round can always get better. They don't blame their tools. It wasn't the putter's fault you 3-putted. And they don't worry about 3-putting. Move to the next hole and try again. Great golfers don't take unnecessary risks. Keep those large numbers off the scorecard. They don't underclub. Weekend golfers think they hit the ball farther than they actually do. They don't always hit the driver. Put the big stick back in the bag when it's not behaving. And finally, great golfers don't hit balls randomly. Have a plan on the range and stick to it. And take that same plan to the course. It's a game. Have some fun out there. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
Hanley's Kia in Davis is having its biggest sales event of the year. Our November Black Friday sales event is here. Our inventory is growing daily. Don't miss your chance for great deals now on all new Kias. Get $1,000 off MSRP on the all-new redesigned 2023 Kia Niro Hybrid. Rated at over 50 miles per gallon. 10 to choose from at this price. Come check out Hanley's Kia's inventory of gas-saving models during our Black Friday sales event. Rio, Soul, Forte, Niro Hybrid. K5, Stinger, EV6 plug-in, Seltos SUV, Sportage Hybrid SUV, Sorrento Hybrid and plug-in SUV, and Telluride SUV. We offer 0 down, special APR financing, and we can also help with any credit problems. Don't miss your chance. It's here, the Hanley's Kia Black Friday sales event. Hanley's Kia is located at 4318 Childs Road, just off I-80 at the Mace Boulevard exit in Davis. $1,000 off MSRP on all new 2023 Niro Hybrids. All financing subject to credit approval. All offers expire 11/30/2022.
The flagship.
Ball game, Sacramento wins! KHTK AM and HD1 Sacramento. KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sactown Sports 1140, the flagship station of your Sacramento Kings. Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
This is Kyle Ledbetter, and these are your Sactown Sports 1140 headlines. Following a 32-point loss yesterday to the Sacramento Kings, it appears there may be some turmoil with the Brooklyn Nets. Members of the organization told The Athletic that they have had some concerns about the availability and level of play of one Ben Simmons. In addition, Kevin Durant spoke to Chris Haynes of Bleacher Report, in which he discussed in which he went on to criticize the accountability and preparation of the team under former head coach Steve Nash, while also acknowledging that he is in a good place with the team under new head coach Jacques Vaughn. In Major League Baseball, Justin Verlander won the American League Cy Young Award, edging out Alek Manoah of the Toronto Blue Jays and Dylan Cease of the Chicago White Sox. Those are your Sactown Sports 1140 headlines. Now, let us resume with the Cattles and Ramie Show.
Cattles and Romney. Sactown Sports 1140.
That's the show. Third and final hour. No Cattles, just Ramie this afternoon. Ramie and you, as I want to talk to Kings fans the day after that beatdown of the Brooklyn Nets. You can get in on the phones, 800-920-1140. You can also text the show, 916-339-1140. Nick will be back tomorrow. Hopefully JJ back tomorrow. Verlad out the rest of the week. Kyle Ledbetter on the other side of the glass, filling in admirably for those guys. Somebody texted in earlier in the show, theorizing, hypothesizing, if you will, that Nick, because he hosted the recap show on YouTube last night, couldn't come in and work today, that it was just too, but no, that's not what happened. Nick just had some personal business to attend to. Everything's fine. Nobody's hurt or sick or dying or anything bad is happening. Just some personal business to it. This was planned. This has nothing to do with him hosting the Sacramento Kings recap show on our YouTube page last night and just being burnt out from doing all that talking on YouTube. Trust me, if there's one thing Nick Cattles can do, it's talk. All right? The battery does not run low on Nick Cattles.
You're loco, man.
His ability to talk, all right? He would be here if he could. I know he would be here if he could after that win last night. I did want to talk about something else that I think is happening with this Kings team. And again, really enjoying talking with you Kings fans out there today at 916-339-1140. If you want to text or give us a call at 800-920-1140. You can always comment at the YouTube page, youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140. Something that I think is starting to happen, and I don't know, man. This could just be being a prisoner of the moment, recency bias, as they call it, me getting carried away with what's been a good start and a really fun start, not just the winning, but the Band-Aids and the Beam team. And this just seems like a really fun and easy group of guys to root for with the Sacramento Kings. So maybe I'm getting carried away, and that's kind of been the theme of today's show, that I have to keep on saying, maybe I'm getting carried away. Maybe I'm prisoner of the moment. Maybe this is recency bias. And it ain't going to happen overnight. We talked about this yesterday on the show, me and Nick. It does seem like not just Kings fans, not just Kings players, not just people within the organization, but like the perception of the Sacramento Kings is changing. And not that their identity is not 16 straight seasons without a playoff appearance. That is definitely if you're playing the word association game, and I say Sacramento Kings to NBA fans outside of Sacramento, maybe even inside of Sacramento, the first thing they might say is playoff drought. Might be. By the way, yesterday we played the over-under game of how many times the playoff drought would be mentioned over the course of the 4 quarters by the broadcast team of Anderson, Van Gundy, and Greenberg. Fine law firm as well, by the way. And it was 2. They mentioned it once in the first quarter, once in the fourth quarter, and I believe we set the over-under at 8.5, so way under, way under. But that is still the thing people are going to talk about. But I could be foolish. I do think the perception of the Kings around the league is changing. I think it goes back to something I talked about earlier in the show, which is the instant credibility and buy-in that a Mike Brown brings with him when he brings a track record and the resume with him that he did. From other players around the league, we heard Kevin Durant talking about this Kings team and how he thinks they're a perfect fit for Mike Brown. You hear that around the league from plenty of people. This was, Kyle, do we have last night on TNT? This was Shaquille O'Neal. This was Charles Barkley talking about this Kings team and how he looks at them.
Adam Silver, he's at the game. Let's move all the Sacramento Kings in for the Lakers. Let's call him right now, Ernie. He'll listen to you.
Chucky Two Bills. You call him. You call him.
Hey, come on, man. Let's kill all the Lakers game.
Sorry. That was Charles Barkley. Wants every Lakers game from here on out, the rest of the season, to be replaced with Sacramento Kings games. And I don't think that's just like a respect factor. I think that's part of it. And Charles Barkley, and we played the clip earlier, he thinks Mike Brown brings instant credibility to the Sacramento Kings. But it's also the entertainment factor for this basketball team. You know what I mean? It's not just the perception is changing because they're a game over 500. Trust me, nobody outside Sacramento is just licking their chops to buy in to the 7-6 Sacramento Kings just on the surface and the fact that they're 7-6. You know what I mean?
It's almost as if scoring 153 points is really fun to watch.
It's 153 points. It's De'Aaron Fox and the speed and the brand of basketball that he plays. It's Malik Monk and what he does off the bench, his flair, his style, the Band-Aid. It's Domas, it's the beam, it's Kings fans, it's all of it, man. It's there's just a lot here to distract from the playoff drought. And for that to be, again, not that it's not your identity or part of your identity until you do something about it, but distractions from that and sort of the wheels starting to turn on that perception of this Kings team and of this Kings organization changing. And here's the other thing. I've been talking about the perception changing outside of Sacramento and outside of the Kings. I think that there was a shift in perception that was needed from inside, and a shift in what these guys who were going to end up being a part of this were probably looking around. And this goes beyond Mike Brown. I know I already talked about Mike Brown earlier in the show, but Tyrese Halliburton last week on a podcast came out and said, and a lot of Kings fans were up in arms over it. And I don't know why, because y'all have been saying the same thing. I hate it when somebody says something that fans have been saying, and then fans go, "How dare he? That is an insult." I was in Wisconsin for years. People were like, "Get Aaron Rodgers some weapons. He needs some weapons. Why can't they get Aaron Rodgers some weapons?" And then Aaron Rodgers is like, "Hey, how about you guys get me some weapons?" Everybody's like, "Oh my God, Aaron Rodgers is a tyrant." You know what I mean?
Unclassy
How
of him.
can he? Oh, I thought he was a team player. Tyrese Halliburton on a podcast last week said the first 2 years in his career, he was playing somewhere where there was no culture. And he's right. He's absolutely right. And I think that, and Mike Brown talked last night after the game about how much it helps and how much more dangerous it makes this team that they believe, that they buy in. And again, that goes beyond Mike Brown. De'Aaron Fox and anybody else who's been around for a number of years, they see what we see. They see it even closer. They see it even more in detail. They feel what we feel in terms of the instability and the constantly shifting ground under their feet. And when a new plan is thrown at you after years of that, it's not like you instantly go, "Oh, cool, new plan. What do we got planned, guys? What are we doing? I'm ready to go." No, those guys from the inside needed to believe in Vivek. They needed to believe in Monty McNair. They needed to believe that there was a winning culture and a stable plan in place for this team, for this thing to look as good as it has looked 13 games into the season. We're going to switch gears, talk some 49ers with Robstats Guerrera of Niners Nation in just a few minutes, but let me get in this call. Who do we have? Who's that on line one, Cal? I'm sorry.
We have Brock.
Brock, you're on Cattles and Romney. What's up, buddy?
Good afternoon.
Yes.
I have a few minutes here until your guest, and what I'd like to do is set you, because you weren't here last year,
I was not,
and the fans who've been calling for Monty to get an extension, I want to explain why he hasn't gotten one, why he shouldn't get one yet, and when he will get one. He will get one if Sabonis signs at the end of the year. If Sabonis goes elsewhere, Monty's probably history. But if Sabonis signs, he'll get one. He'll also get an extension if Herter pans out as well as he is. But what he did to put himself in this hole was, in quick succession last year, Vivek laid down the rule that he wanted to make the play-in, and that was the coach's job. And that was his only job, was to make the play-in. It was real easy. So at that point, he traded Tyrese to get Sabonis, and he said, "We're not done." That's great. So the next thing is he's got to do something with Bagley. He calls Portland, who had taken 3 of our last 7-footers after they failed here. Portland had signed the one they traded for, Luisier, Papagiannis, and Giles. So Portland was a natural place. He calls them. Somehow he doesn't make a deal, even though at that moment Portland is trying to make a deal to get rid of McCollum. Now, had he traded a package of Bagley and who knows, somebody else, to get McCollum, we probably would have made the playoffs last year because he single-handedly took New Orleans to the playoffs, and I believe he's the fourth leading scorer in the NBA now, but he's 32.
Yeah, and I get it. We're up against a break. It's a good call and a good point that you bring up. But there's, in any president or GM's tenure, there are moves that they made and did not make that you point to and you go, man, that would have been a good one to do or not do. But the bottom line is that the foundation is being laid and set, and it seems like a pretty solid foundation. And the one thing that could make the ground move under all these guys' feet again and undo a lot of the good work that you've done is if the architect of it is not rewarded and brought back next year. That's all I'm saying about the Monty McNair extension. Switch gears, talk some Niners. Robstats Guerrera of the Niners Nation podcast joins me next on Cattles and Romney.
The only place you'll find De'Aaron Fox is Sactown Sports.
Fox comes up the floor, 2 seconds. Here's a 35-footer for the win. He's got the bucket.
Hey, Sacramento, it's De'Aaron Fox, and you're listening to the home of the Sacramento Kings, Sactown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
Now, only on Amazon Music. The year was 1985.
25-year-old Cherie Warren of Roy disappeared 9 days ago.
That was the last anyone has ever seen her.
Friends and family believe foul play was involved.
Now join the search.
You have two real persons of interest here.
Through the new KSL podcast, Cold 3, The Search for Cherie.
We're not going to stop. We need to find Cherie Warren.
Listen now, only on Amazon Music.
One guy's trying not to throw furniture.
That's a personal foul. While the other's still trying to find some.
Cattles and Ramie. Cattles and Ramie. Sactown Sports, 1140.
That is the show. No Cattles, just Ramie today. Check out Sactown Sports on YouTube, though. Join Carmichael Dave, Nick Cattles, me, Chris Watkins, all season for the Sactown Sports Kings Recap Show on our YouTube page at the conclusion of every Kings game this season for an interactive post-game experience that nobody else is giving you. That's the Sactown Sports Kings Recap Show. Yours truly hosting tomorrow after Kings and Spurs. And check out the Kings Mailbag hosted every Friday by the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross and this fine program here. Submit your questions to Kings Mailbag at SactownSports.com. Subscribe by searching Sactown Sports on YouTube. And when you subscribe, you'll get notifications for when cool things like the Kings Recap Show or the Mailbag are going up on our YouTube page. And you can enjoy all that fine content. While you're there, don't forget to subscribe, like, rate, review, give us all those numbers so we can keep growing this thing and growing the coverage that we bring you in the greater Sacramento area. APB out for Robstats Guerrera of the Niners Nation podcast, slated to join us here to talk some, well, Niners, as he does every Wednesday at this time. I'm sure we'll have Rob here momentarily. Do we have Rob here? No? Oh, I thought we had Rob here. No? Yeah? No? I think we have Rob here. Do we? I think, yes, we do. We have Rob on hold, who's going to join me on the Folsom Lake Honda Hotline. All guests come to you from the Folsom Lake Honda Hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. No need for the open. Let's just get right to Robstats Guerrera of the Niners Nation podcast. Rob, welcome in. How are you this afternoon, my man?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
My pleasure. After the game on Monday, we came in and Nick and I were like, you had 2 weeks and your full arsenal of all these weapons and that beat up Chargers team, and that's all you could muster offensively. And then I slept on it for a day and I was like, maybe we were a little too hard on them. Win's a win. You were efficient offensively. What side of that coin do you fall on, Rob?
You don't get points for efficiency. I feel like there's a lot of people evaluating the 49ers offense and saying, well, they gained a lot of yards. They went up and down the field. They're very efficient. Look at their EPA. Look at their DVO. don't care. Do you score points or not? And the problem with the 49ers so far this year is that they don't score points. Sunday night was a perfect example. Right down the field, 5 red zone possessions. They only get touchdowns on 2 of them. But luckily, their defense was incredible in the second half. They held up, and that was okay. But against teams that are better, frankly, they're going to have to get more out of the offense. You can't ask your defense to have to be perfect every single week.
What is it that you're seeing, or I know you talk to a lot of people who study this 49ers team, what is it that's stalling out that's working between the 20s for them?
I honestly just think it's part of Kyle Shanahan's offense. If you go back and look at his career, historically, when he's calling the plays, his offenses are very, very good at moving the ball down the field and gaining yards. They're not as successful scoring. Really as many top 10 scoring offenses as top 10 yardage offense. I think it's just a function of the fact that there's less space to work with once you get down to the red zone. I think a big aspect of Kyle's offense is spread you out horizontally, especially. By spreading you out horizontally, it creates a lot of windows for you to throw and open things up for guys. But when you get down into the red zone, you don't have space, so those windows are not as big. And I personally think you're more dependent on players making plays than you are on scheme. And unfortunately, the 49ers guys made plays when it counted. Case in point, Brandon Ayuk dropping a touchdown that hit him in the chest in the end zone on Sunday.
And that's I've had in my notes for a minute, Rob. Like I agree with what you're saying about Kyle Shanahan, and I'm not blind to the limitations of a Jimmy Garoppolo. I like Jimmy a little bit more than most people in Niner Nation, but I'm not blind to his limits. But you look at this 49ers team, and I don't know where it is after this last game, but I know coming into this game they were among the tops in drops. They were, again, near the bottom in special teams. And those are things those are the little things, I think, that will hold back an offense or contribute to holding back an offense from being everything that they can be. Would you agree with that?
I would agree with that. And then Kyle was quick to say, well, in this case, so-and-so stumbled on a run, Elijah Mitchell stumbled, and Brandon Ayuk dropped the pass. Like, there's always an explanation for it. I don't get that. But when you sort of zoom out and look at those as a whole, it's always those things happening over and over again. Yes, some of it is on the players, but it's also on coaching. Right? Like, if you can't get your players to execute properly, that's also a coaching issue. So I think it's both sides here need to recognize that they're not holding up their end of the bargain, and they need to fix it. Because, like I said, they're playing teams like Miami in a couple of weeks. You're going to have to be able to put up points.
Did you? Because I did. I fell for the hype. I did stats. I was going into the game. I was like, oh man, they're healthy. They got McCaffrey, Debo's back. Mitchell is back. I was like this, and you had Jimmy G talking about unleashing the nightmare offense. I was like, this is going to be a fun offense to watch. Did you allow yourself to fall into that, or was Kyle Shanahan and some of the things that we've talked about and some of the red zone struggles, was that in the back of your mind and sort of, I need to see it to believe it?
Oh no, I was all in. I thought they were going to run over the Chargers.
Yeah.
LA was giving up over 140 yards per game on the ground and 5.7 yards per carry. They were giving that up to good teams. They were giving that up to bad teams. Everybody was running on the Chargers. So I thought the Niners were going to come in there and just abuse them on the ground, and then Jimmy was going to be able to use play action and pick up some chunk yardage through the air. Fortunately, it didn't happen on Sunday. If they got 22 points, they won the game. But no, I was right there with you. I was totally playing.
If they can, talking with Robstats Guerrera of the Niners Nation podcast, as we do every Wednesday here on Cattles and Ramie on the Folsom Lake Honda hotline, Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. If they can get to at least proficient in the red zone with all the talent that they have outside of the Kansas City Chiefs, is there a better contender? If they figure out the red zone, is there a stronger, better contender on paper than the 49ers?
Stronger? No. Some as strong? Absolutely. But if they can at least get the league average in red zone scoring with the defense have, I would give the Niners a better chance than anybody, certainly anybody in the NFC for sure. I would feel extremely comfortable in that area. Because like, you can have talented players, and if they're putting up points, this team is built to get a lead, make you one-dimensional and stop the run, which even without Eric Armstead and Javon Kinlaw, they are still stopping the run. I believe they're the number one league against the run. They're built to do this. Force you to have to pass, and you have to pass. So, Everton, every aspect, Drake Jackson starting to get involved a little bit more now. Those offense is built, the team is built to do. So if they can score at a more consistent clip, that's going to play right into the rest and to break his feet, buddy.
That is Robstats Guerrera. Check out the Niners Nation podcast. Follow him on Twitter. One of my favorite 49ers follows on Twitter at Stats on Fire. Rob, always appreciate the time and the insight, my man.
Thanks for having me.
There's Robstats Guerrera joining us on the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Phone was spotty throughout, but it was good enough. And then in his last answer, it just started going real bad. And I was like, it's the last answer. Let it go. And then it was probably his longest answer of the whole interview. So my apologies for that. If despite all the great content and insight Rob brings, if the last few seconds of that interview were a little hard to listen to due to the phone complications that we had. Right after this, Kings Talk continues, and we'll keep hearing from you at 800-920-1140 if you want to get in on the phones or text 916-339-1140. Play a little big deal or no big deal as it pertains to these Sacramento Kings. Next, Cattles and Romney.
Cattles and Romney. Cattles and Romney. Sactown Sports 1140. From the draft to free agency to the summer league to the games that matter the most.
It's good, and it's pandemonium at Golden One Center.
When it comes to the Kings, nobody has you covered like Sactown Sports, your local sports leader.
ATM Mortgage. When times get tough, you need a lender that gets even tougher. Hi, Jeff Tarbell with ATM Mortgage. We can still show you an affordable path to home ownership. And all you have to do is call 916-338-9400. That's 338-9400 or online at atmmortgage.net. ATM Mortgage. License under California CFL and MLS 223-4889.
The number one priority for the good folks over at American Energy is making sure you and your family are comfortable in your home for the holidays. And that's why they're giving away a free whole home HVAC system to one lucky family in the greater Sacramento area. If you know a family in need of being comfortable this winter, enter for your chance to win the American Energy Comfort Giveaway by going to the AE Way. That's the AE Way.com today. You could win a free whole home HVAC system. For the official contest rules, go to the AEWay.com.
Have you heard the news? New Hondas are back at Capital City Honda, including the all-new redesigned 2023 CR-V and HR-V. Stop by today or visit us at capcityhonda.com and see our new car inventory with no dealer markup. Have a car to sell or trade? We're paying top dollar for any make and model. Cap City Freeway at the Fulton Avenue exit by the Hagen Oaks Golf Complex. CapCityHonda.com.
When you're young, life is full of choices. Don't let opioids like highly addictive and deadly fentanyl take away your life and your choices with just one wrong pill. Addiction is a disease that can affect anyone at any age, but there is a choice to get help for this disease. Find medically proven treatment options, including virtual, at choosemat.org.
The game of football is about pain. Ever since I was 5 years old, it's been all about football. It's been about running, jumping, blocking, tackling. I stopped playing at 31.
You're listening to Michael Robinson, retired pro fullback.
I thought that foot pain was going to be with me for the rest of my life. I'm so glad I met Good Feet. I'm so glad that those arch supports are in my shoes. I had terrible foot issues that prevented me from really having a normal life with my kids. With the Good Feet arch supports, man, I'm always ready. My kids actually got to enjoy me in the yard more, racing each other, backpedaling, teaching them some things, being a dad. If I had known about the Good Feet arch support earlier, I would have more than one championship I would have 2 championship rings.
See what we can do for you with a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
Sore feet? Aching back? Even plantar fasciitis? Come to the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, and Modesto.
Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda, is also Northern California's #1 Honda certified pre-owned vehicle dealer.
Come see our amazing selection of quality pre-owned vehicles. We have something for everyone. Don't shop dealer to dealer trying to find the perfect used car. Stockton Honda has the selection, financing, and savings you want. Plus, get top dollar for your trade.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Based on 2021 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company's own one report.
Sactown Sports Headlines.
All right, everybody, this is Kyle Ledbetter, and these are your Sactown Sports 1140 headlines. Currently have 7 NBA games going on as we speak. The Hornets lead the Pacers by 3 points at halftime. The Washington Wizards are ahead of the Oklahoma City Thunder by 6. The Boston Celtics lead the Atlanta Hawks by 12 points. The Chicago Bulls are trailing the New Orleans Pelicans in the first quarter, and the Cleveland Cavaliers have an early 4-point lead against the Milwaukee Bucks. Adrian Wojnarowski reports that Kyrie Irving may be returning to the Brooklyn Nets this Sunday against the Memphis Grizzlies. And in Major League Baseball, Sandy Alcantara of the Miami Marlins and Justin Verlander of the Houston Astros are your 2022 Cy Young Award winners. Those are your Sactown Sports 1140 headlines. Now, let's return to the Cattles and Romney Show.
Just 2 guys rubbing elbows, talking sports,
And lots of other stuff.
They always keep you on edge.
That's really crazy interesting.
It's Cattles and Romney. Sactown Sports 1140.
Half hour left on that program. Just half that duo today. It's the Ramie half, the Cattles half. Out today doing some personal things. He'll be back in tomorrow. We hope JJ is feeling better and back in tomorrow. Christopher Laud, crab fishing the rest of the week. I didn't know people did that. I always thought that was like a commercial thing. I didn't know, I knew people fished. I didn't know people just on their own went out and fished for crabs though.
I don't know. I mean, we're in Northern California, right? I think
that's a thing in Northern California. You have to remember, I just moved here 4.5 months ago.
Yeah, there's some crabs up here. I mean, the San Francisco Bay Area's got a whole bunch.
I know there are crabs. I didn't know people. I didn't know, I knew there were fishermen out there, casting nets. There are TV shows about it that are fishing. I didn't know, people as a hobby just went on their own crab fishing.
It's just like fishing for anything else, I guess. I mean, look, Ramie, I'm from Southern California, so I'm new to this thing too, but I am learning at the same time.
They're not crab fishing in SoCal? Is that what you're telling me?
No, I do not think so.
Nor are they in the Midwest. Where I hail from, there are no crabs to fish in Lake Michigan. So all of this is very new to me. Also new to me is the latest on Keegan Murray from Jason Anderson, new sports editor at the Sacramento Bee. Congrats to Jason taking over the sports department over there at the Bee. He says Kings rookie Keegan Murray questionable versus the Spurs tomorrow after hurting his back in the win over the Nets. And obviously you hope it's nothing serious and he's not going to miss a lot of time, but that's one of the cooler things about this Kings team is that in the past, if you lost a guy who's a lottery pick and who people had as high of expectations, there was as much buzz and as much hype surrounding them as there is a Keegan Murray, you lose that guy, and not only is it a huge loss on the court that maybe you can't overcome, but it would take some of the wind out of the sails that are so full right now in Kings Nation. The sails are very, very full right now. This thing is just moving right along. At what's the unit they use in aquatic travel? I don't care.
Nautical miles?
Nautical miles. Just moving along at whatever would be a fast pace of nautical miles.
Knots? Are you looking for knots?
That's the word I'm looking for. Look at you. I like that. Knots is what I was looking for. So however many knots is fast.
Knots is just fancy miles per hour.
Is it really?
Not exactly, but for all intents and purposes, I'm not going to explain sailing to people.
I was going to go down a whole tangent of sailing terminology. Of like,
I may come from a family of sailors, but I did not pick up that gene.
Okay, good, because I didn't want to go down that road.
Just fancy miles per hour.
In the past, losing a guy like a Keegan Murray would be a big blow to this team and a big blow to the excitement and the hype and the buzz around this team. But they lost him last night and just kept the drubbing going. As a matter of fact, they put the foot down on the gas pedal after they lost Keegan Murray last night. And now it's the Spurs. If it was a better team that they were going up against tomorrow, we might go, you might need Keegan Murray for this one. But there is, like, if Keegan Murray isn't there tomorrow, I hope he is. I wish him all the best, and they're better with him. But if he's not there tomorrow, it's like this team is good enough, deep enough to get the job done without him.
Let's go, Sacramento.
As we saw last night. Let's play a little big deal or no big deal, shall we?
No matter what, national pundits always tell you something's big.
Now it's our turn to tell you.
Big deal or no big deal?
Cattles and Romney.
Do we have the game show music, the big deal or no big deal game show music, Cal? Do we have that? By the way, I forgot to tell you this. It's probably too late now. Usually Verlad, sitting in that chair, plays Howie Mandel and asks me and Cattles if something is a big deal or no big deal. Do you want to do that, or should I just be the one-man show here? I can be host and contestant.
I mean, we're kind of doing this on the fly, so, like, I don't know.
Okay.
We could just do something like that and then perhaps ask Ramie, is it a big deal or not a big deal?
What are we talking about?
Well, that's a good question, Ramie. That is a wonderful question to know. This is how you know we didn't do any preparation for this segment.
You know what? I'll just do it. Okay.
Look,
all right, go ahead.
So the Sacramento Kings, for those who may or may not be aware, they played on TNT yesterday. We had Brian Anderson and we had Stan Van Gundy with their little folding table sitting courtside, and the Sacramento Kings won by 32 points. I'm not sure how many people have heard. So, Ramie, is a victory on national TV a big deal or not a big deal?
That was very well delivered, by the way. Can I give you one critique? Did you watch Big Deal or No Big Deal when it was like a thing, when Howie Mandel was the host? You're younger than me. So
I was born in a year that starts with a 2, so I would say no, but I've played it on my podcast before, so I kind of get the idea.
It's not just Howie Mandel. Any good game show host worth their weight they know the value of a dramatic pause. So can I get that music? Give me the music back real quick. I'm trying to help out a young broadcaster here, folks. Bear with me, if you will. So everything was great, really, really good in your delivery. But I would have delivered it like this. I would have said, Ramie, the Kings winning a game on TNT in front of a national audience. Big deal? Or no big deal? See? You see the drama that
feels like
added?
You're staring directly into my soul.
Did you see the suspense that added to the delivery?
That was a
right?
pause pregnancy right there. Wow.
Exactly. Yes.
That was dramatic.
That was a 9-month pause is what that was. That was carrying the pause to full term is what that was. That's how you deliver like a game show host. But to the question, big deal or no big deal? The Kings winning a game on TNT. I think it's a big deal, man. I think it's a big deal. And I've said this at least twice in every hour. I guess it's a disclaimer of sorts. Maybe it's just today. You know what I mean? Maybe it's just the hype. Maybe I'm just riding this wave and putting too much stock in that win last night. And more than I should be putting in that win last night. And man, the mission is not accomplished, okay? There's still a long way to go. But as far as wins, 13 games into the season, and despite Kevin Durant telling you everyone around him sucks at basketball and you shouldn't have expected them to win that basketball game, which I still can't I can't believe he said that and named out teammates and fellow starting 5 members.
Yeah, Joe Harris.
By name. Joe Harris, whoever that Edmund dude was. But despite that, man, and this goes back to something we were talking about earlier in the hour of the perception of this Kings team inside and outside and how much work there was to do in changing that, tearing down the old and building up the new. For Shaq and Chuck after the game to be talking about, can I hear Chuck again call for the Kings to replace every Lakers game from here on out on TNT?
Silver, he's at the game. Let's move all the Sacramento games in for the Lakers. Let's call him right now, Ernie. He'll listen to you. Chucky Two Bills. Call him. You call him. Hey, come on, man. Let's kill all the Lakers games.
That's what a lot of people were thinking last night watching that Kings team. People at home on their couches going, man, you've been feeding us the Lakers all year, and this was out there. This entertaining, young, energetic basketball team has been out there. They're lighting beams in the sky, and you've been giving us LeBron's old ass, and the Lakers is what you've been giving us. They're
giving us Lonnie Walker.
And again, still a long, long road to travel in getting where this team is trying to go and completely changing the perception and washing away the years of failure and drought or whatever you want to call it. But it's got to start somewhere. And the Kings easily could have come out last night, fallen flat on their face, despite the terrible starting 5 that Kevin Durant will tell you the Nets throw out there, fallen flat on their face. And you know what that post game would have been? Shaq and Chuck and Kenny joking about how it's the same old Kings. You can change the coach, you can change the players, but they're just going to be the Sacramento Kings. Inside and out. Again, Mike Brown talked, I don't know if it was after last night's game or Sunday's game against the Warriors, about how much confidence makes this team more dangerous than they even are, and believing in themselves makes this team more dangerous than they already are. Winning that game last night on the national stage against Kevin Durant and the Brooklyn Nets and all the hype, you realize they moved that game to TNT for the Nets after Kevin Durant rescinded his trade request? And it was the Kings who came out and put on an absolute show.
Ramie, do you know what the game was that was supposed to be on TNT instead of them in the first place?
I don't. What was it? I don't
It
remember.
was supposed to be the Jazz and the Knicks because it was supposed to be Donovan Mitchell's return game.
Ugh. Oh, yeah, when everybody thought Donovan Mitchell was going to be a Knick. That's right. Another franchise they keep shoving down your throat, even though no one asked for it. But if you think of it as a road trip and you're going cross-country, yeah, you still have like 12 states, 13 states to drive through. But the journey starts somewhere. You've made it through one state, I guess is one way to put it, with this start and with that exclamation point on the start last night on TNT in front of the world, the NBA world, to see. Still got a few more minutes. Want to talk to Kings fans? If you're out there, 800-920-1140 if you want to give me a call or text the show, 916-339-1140. Touch on a couple other Kings points and wrap up Cattles and Ramie right after this.
Cattles and Ramie. Sactown Sports 1140.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave from my friends at Amy Outdoor Living. And, every year there's an incredible metamorphosis into Sacramento's finest holiday store there. See dozens of beautiful, decorated, themed Christmas trees, hundreds of unique ornaments perfect for any tree, plus sensational gifts for everyone on your list. Just stroll through. Is there a better gift than a Traeger pellet grill? No. Specially priced for the holidays. Save $400 off the Timberline 850 and 1350, $200 off the Pro 575, $2 off all rubs, sauces, and seasonings, along with pellets. How about fire pits? A wonderful gift, and will be right where the family gets together to enjoy Christmas cheer. You're invited to experience the magic of the holidays at Amy's Outdoor Living. Now in 2 locations, on El Camino near Watt and Carmichael, and inside Amy Ace Hardware at El Dorado Hills Town Center. Check them out. Amy Ace Hardware, and you tell them Carmichael Dave sent you for the holidays.
Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop. We make buying a new Honda easy and stress-free. Pre-order online or in person today. We'll be there to help you every step of the way. Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find. Happy people ready to serve you. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda. Yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
I'm Craig Ashton of the injury law firm of Ashton and Price. Whether you've been injured on a bicycle, as a pedestrian in a slip and fall, auto, Uber, Lyft, or big rig accident, you need Ashton and Price in your corner. When you call Ashton and Price, there's no chatbot telling you to hit 3 for accounting. You're greeted by a real live person who will immediately transfer you to an experienced attorney. The consultation's free, and there's never a fee until you win.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Starting trouble. No one likes that. We'll get you set up for some stronger starts. You might just need a fresh charge, and we'll take care of that free of charge. But if it is time for a new battery, we've got replacement batteries that'll fit your needs, starting at just $69.99. You can learn more about our battery selection at AutoZone.com. That's what makes us America's #1 battery destination.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Claim based on data from the NPD Group 2021.
The new Fords have arrived at Folsom Lake Ford. I know you've been waiting for a new F-150 or maybe an Explorer or Expedition. Guess what? Folsom Lake Ford has them. Your truck headquarters for over 30 years right here in Sacramento is all stocked up with new Fords and used vehicles. Save with low interest financing on your favorite new models and zero down deals available on all new and used vehicles with approved credit. Get top dollar for your trade, making your monthly payment on your new Ford even lower. Folsom Lake Ford is the only dealership I recommend to my friends. A Triple Crown Award winner for sales, service, and finance. Highway 50 Folsom exit, or browse fresh inventory online at FolsomLakeFord.com. It's updated almost daily. And if you can't find what you're looking for, give them a call. Tell them Doug Christie sent you. Folsom Lake Ford.
Sacramento has a new tag team in the afternoons.
You're talking to the original tag team of ugly pukes here.
It's Cattles. It's Ramie. Sactown Sports 1140.
Final segment. Been a fun one today after a fun one last night. The Kings just curb stomping the Brooklyn Nets on national TV, 153-121. Really have enjoyed talking to Kings fans all afternoon long. Still a couple minutes to get you in if you want to give us a call, 800-920-1140, or you can text the show, 916-339-1140. Let's quick go to John, wants to talk some Kings on the Cattles and Romney show. What's up, John? Johnny boy. Am I bringing him up?
Hey, brother, dude, I did the Ramie show.
What's up, John?
You're kicking ass, bro.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Hey, about that game last night, you can say anything you want, and the Nets, they're a good team, but they're not a freaking great team. That wasn't too hard to go against them, but any team that goes out there and scores $150, I don't care how crappy a team you might be playing, when you score $150, you're going in the right direction. So every single freaking Kings fan out there needs to know, and you as well, Ramie, and I know you're new, and I freaking love your voice.
Appreciate it.
And every single King fan needs to know that it's a small sample size so far, but so far, so good. And, hey, we've been begging for this for freaking 16 years, Ramie. Check it out. I got a beard down in my freaking belly button because I'm cutting it as soon as they make the playoffs, and I've been saying that for so freaking long, bro.
Well,
I can't wait till you grow. Yeah, if you start growing a beard and then cut it when they make the playoffs, then you'll be Sactown.
I do.
And you won't back down, brother.
I appreciate the call. I do have a beard. I can't grow it down to my belly button. I got a girlfriend. She's not going to be okay with that. Like that's just not going to fly.
Do it.
No, I know. I can't do it. I won't do it because I want her to, be attracted to me, and she doesn't want a beard down to my belly button. So that won't be happening. But I do love like he just said, I'm not from Sacramento, okay? I'm new to the area. I'm not gonna walk in the door and proclaim myself to be the biggest Kings fan in the world. But first of all, this is just a really fun and entertaining team to watch. The brand that they play, the speed with which they play, some of the players and their personalities and the flair and all that stuff. They're just an entertaining and fun team to watch. Easy group of guys to root for. It doesn't look like there's a bad dude on this team where you go, ugh, he's good at basketball, but I really don't like myself for rooting for that guy. Like they don't have any guys like that. And the main thing is, not my first gig outside of my home area. You know what I mean? I grew up in the Chicago area, but not my first sports radio gig outside of my home area. I've been talking about other people's teams basically my whole career. I've done a little Chicago radio, but my way of really getting into it and really enjoying it and bringing you guys an entertaining product and some good content weekdays 3 to 6 here on the Cattles and Ramie show. While I may not love your team yet, and that's a process, I do love fans, man. And I love fans that deserve a little good fortune, that deserve to see something good. And I knew when I came to Sacramento, not that this was going to happen, not that the Kings were going to be doing what they're doing this year, but if they did, that this Kings fan base was going to be a really, really fun group to jump on with and enjoy this ride through your eyes, through the eyes of Kings fans, and really just feel it with you, feel it for you. You know what I mean? So he's right about the 16 years. Carmichael Dave was on the show earlier, and he said it was like the Shawshank Redemption when, Andy Dufresne is crawling through the pipe of sewage and comes out.
I'm scared that you brought this back up because I've never seen this movie before.
Never seen Shawshank? I know you're young, but it's a classic. Go watch the Shawshank Redemption. Anyways, we had a text earlier. I can't find it right now on the fly as I'm sifting through all your texts about cranberry sauce, which is just terrible. Stop. But somebody tweeted before, they've been crawling through that stuff for 16 years, man. 16 years. No fan base deserves that. No, the franchise might deserve that for the dysfunction and the instability that they've had over those 16 years. No fan base deserves that. Nobody deserves that for loving their team. You know what I mean? So I feel great for John. And like I said last night, I went out after the game, 9:30, 10 o'clock at night, when I usually don't. I'm usually in for the night. I just wanted to walk around Midtown and downtown Sacramento as people were trickling home or walking home from the arena and just feel that buzz. And man, it was palpable. You could feel it. People were walking by you, a little more pep in their step. The beam was shining up to the sky. Like this is a cool ride that we're all on, man. And I'm really already enjoying it. And I think it gets better. I think it keeps getting better.
Me and you both, my friend, because this is my first year being in Sacramento. I've been in Northern California for a couple years, but being in Sacramento, this is the first year I've seen it. And for the Kings to have a legitimate chance to break the streak, I think it's going to be incredibly, incredibly exciting. And we saw that last night.
It's been fun. We have just a couple minutes left, and hopefully it continues to be fun. And I think it will. I did want to touch on a report today. The Raiders don't deserve a lot of our time and attention, especially with what the Kings did last night, but I'd be remiss to not mention this report from Dov Kleinman. He covers the NFL and keeps people updated about transactions. What his bio
He's got
says.
sources.
He doesn't say for who, but he's got an actual check mark, not one that he bought from Elon, and almost 100,000 followers. So yeah, like you said, he's legit. He's got sources. He reports the reason the Raiders won't fire Josh McDaniels is financial. They don't have the money to fire him. The team is cash poor and can't afford to fire McDaniels and then pay another coach, according to Bill Plaschke. Quote, he'll be coached this year and next year. Man, if I'm a Raiders fan and I'm hearing this, that the only reason you're keeping the coach around is because Mark Davis is quote unquote cash poor and they quote unquote don't have the money to fire him? I ain't trying to hear that, man. I'm really not trying to hear that. You just built the Death Star in the middle of the desert in Las Vegas. Mark Davis, a lot of people around the area may be well up to on this, but JJ and Chris just showed me last week or a couple of weeks ago this palace that he's building in Las Vegas, that he's this home that he's building.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how money works on that level. I don't know how money works on the level that Mark Davis is dealing in. You know what I mean? I got to imagine, I'm just going to go out on a limb here, that Mark Davis has the collateral to go out and get a loan to pay whatever it's going to take.
Now we're talking
to
economics.
Fire Josh McDaniels and hire a new head coach if you think that's what's best for this football team. I can't, if I'm a Raiders fan, sit here and watch you spend ridiculous money on homes, on stadiums, and then when it comes to the guy who's going to lead this team and is supposed to fix this thing, only has the job, only keeps the job because you can't afford to fire him? Nah, man. No, I'm sorry. That's just not going to sit well with me. It's just not. That's going to do it for the Cattles and Ramie show this afternoon. My thanks to Carmichael Dave for joining us earlier. He's back, of course, tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. Cattles is back tomorrow. Hopefully JJ is back tomorrow. I will be back tomorrow. Plenty more Kings talk. And it's Thursday, so we'll start getting ready for the weekend in football. For Kyle Ledbetter, I'm Ramie Makhlouf saying thanks for listening. Talk to you tomorrow on Sactown Sports 1140.
Don't come equipped with rear view mirrors. They dip as quick as they can. The atmosphere is
Hello, this is
lit.
Joe Cordell. Cordell & Cordell is a firm that practices family law exclusively. We focus on only one area of the law to maximize our strength and effectiveness as advocates for clients that have everything on the line.